it's clean. This for my city, yeah, this for my team. If you talking, it's hard to be nice. I play with all of my life. You see my name in the lights. Better get right, champion.
It is opening day for the 2026 BCFC from Starlight Stadium in Langford, BC, not far from downtown Victoria. I'm Jay Longpre, along with the president of the BCFC, Tyler McLaren, and today it is opening day, West Shore Rebels and the Valley Huskers. Opening day, always nervous for anybody.
You just got to go.
Okay. Rebels last season 7-3 during the regular year and got to the Cullen Cup final where they were beaten by the Okanagan Sun. And then Okanagan went on and played in the national championship game and were defeated by Saskatoon. Valley Huskers are a team on the rise. They finished 4-5-1 a year ago, but they had a stretch for 4 years from 2014 to 2017 where they only won one game. So they've got things going in the right direction. They're hoping to be a playoff team this year. It's a tough start to be on the road for opening day, but when you only got a 10-game season, you got to dive right into the deep end, and we're going to find out real quick where the Huskers are at.
Yeah, it's always tough with the first game being on the road, like you said, Jay, and starting off. But as a lot of the coaches will say across the league, it's you kind of get to a point where you just set up the pins and then try and knock them down. So you can't do much over the schedule with the schedule. So you kind of just got to do what you got to do and face the opponents you have to face when they come up on the schedule. But should be a good game here today at Starlight.
Well, the weather is outstanding. A little breezy where we are, but I think on the field it's not windy, which will not only affect the passing game. We're real elevated here, so it's breezy for us, but not for the players on the field. It's a nice day.
Yeah, down on field level it looks pretty calm. The flags are moving a little bit to our right here, but pretty good football conditions and football weather here at the beginning and middle of July here, and as we kick off week 1 of the BCFC.
It will be the Valley Huskers who kick it off. They are in green, trimmed in black and gold. And the Rebels in there all red today. And the 2026 BCFC season is underway. Running up to take it for the Rebels, Cameron Cone. First down, West Shore with their quarterback, who is from Baltimore.
Anthony Chancellor is starting at quarterback for the Rebels, so he's new this year for the team, replacing last year's starter Gavin Session. So big shoes to fill for Anthony, but I know the Rebels coaching staff are excited to see what he brings to this team.
First down on the 35-yard line. Chancellor is from Baltimore. Going to go deep on the first play of the season. Incomplete at the 35-yard line and no flag on the play. Bit of a jump ball there. Brady Jenkins was the receiver that Cancelara is trying to hook up with.
Yeah, I love the first play call of the season for the Rebels as the fans continue to come in here where you're trying to make a big play to start the game off, trying to make a big home run type play. So like the call on the play. There was a little bit of contact on the play, but the referees decided it was more incidental, so that'll bring up 2nd and 10 for the Rebels.
The man running this officiating crew is from Vancouver. That's Heath Edelston. 2nd down and 10 for the Rebels. 35-yard line. Cancellaire being chased. Can he run for the first down? Yes, he can.
Good run there by Anthony, and you could tell once he broke a taint on it to his right, there was nothing but green grass ahead of him. And I was talking to a couple of the players, and I said, what's the main difference between Anthony this year and Gavin Session last year, the outstanding Rebel quarterback? And a couple people kept saying to me his feet. And Gavin was a great scrambler, and he was able to move around. We just saw an example, but Anthony's got that explosive ability, and we just saw it there.
He gained 11. He needed 10. First down, 46-yard line for the Rebels. We're just underway from Starlight Stadium. first running play of the day for the Rebels, and that's a very good one. They'll be second down and short at midfield.
Injured Husker on the play there, but good run right off the bat. We'll try and get a number for you as the masses of red jerseys part there, but good run on first down there. You want to get the running game going to start off with and get the big boys in front getting going. So good run there for the first run of the season for the Rebels, picking up 9.
Well, in talking to Rebels head coach Connor Brinder in midweek, and he said that's their main focus. They like to pass the ball, but second and short is always the goal.
That's all coaches love. Offensive coordinators always look smart when you get second and short, so those are always good down and distances that they like. And I think the Rebels, and the last few years at least, they've had good numbers of running backs, a good stable of running backs as the injured Husker gets to his feet, which is good to see. So you always want to have a stable of running backs you can hand the ball off, especially with the Rebels, who always have postseason aspirations. So once you get into the fall and the playoff season, it's always nice to be able to have a good ground game at your disposal.
Joshua Tut Escobar, the injured Husker, making his way to the sideline. 1 minute and 15 seconds and the clock running into the opening quarter. First possession of the season for the Rebels in red, moving from right to left. Second down and 1. The Valley Huskers 54-yard line.
Lots of options here for the Rebels, so watch the pass even though it's second and short.
Cancellaire with a quick pass. And that's first down yardage and plus. Zion Brown.
First catch of the year for the reigning BCFC Offensive Player of the Year, and to no surprise, they go to him early. He's going to be a big weapon for the Rebels as usual this year. He came off an outstanding season in the conference last year. So big things expected of Zion Brown. And you see there, even though it was only about a 3-4 yard pass, Zion has such explosive abilities where he's able to get another 10-15 with the yak yard. So good job there getting Zion Brown into action early here for the Rebels.
21-yard pickup, first down for the Rebels. Cancellaire with a handoff to Carter Williams. He picks up half of the 10 needed.
Second carry of the day for Carter Williams. Good run there, again on first down. Got about half the yardage needed. But what do you say? And good job by the Rebels there, because the Huskers were coming on the blitz there off the left-hand side of their offense. So good job there to get 5 yards. And again, a nice down and distance here for the Rebels offense.
28-yard line. Second down for the Rebels. Cancellaire throws. That's going to be intercepted. First turnover of the year, and it's being run back by the Huskers. This is going to be dangerous. And they finally wrestle him down inside the 35-yard line. That's Cole Shanks.
Massive play there for the Husker defense, and that's exactly what they needed. Even though they gave up a few first downs and the Rebels were driving, that was a bad mistake there by Anthony throwing in. That was looked like a cover 2 the Huskers were running there. So even though the corner was in trail technique, the safety right there read that perfectly, stepped in front of it, and that was a real tight window to try and squeeze that ball in. So massive play by the Huskers on defense there, and on top of it, they get the big return yardage. Now they're on the Rebel side of midfield.
34-yard line. And there's a pick the other way, and this could be big problems for the Huskers. Racing to the end zone, possibly. He stays in bounds. Tyson Sapp. First play on defense, and the first score of the year comes from the defense.
Massive play the other way now as we see the Rebels defense make a play. The Rebels got in there with really good penetration, really good pressure, and that was a throw that just kind of went errant. I'm not sure if the quarterback, and we'll get names and numbers for you folks, he even saw the Rebel defender there as he threw that one. And you see the emotional, the highs and lows of a team that happens throughout our league and our season, where 10 seconds earlier, the Huskers bench was going ballistic and excited with the big play. Now the Rebels make one of their own. So up and down game. I'm sure both benches are saying to their players to stay calm, guys. There's going to be good things that happen and bad things, and we just have to ride that wave. But great start there. Get the opening score for the season for the Rebels.
Point after from Aiden Bowles is up and through.
I wonder how many people had on their bingo cards that the first points of the game here in the season was by a defensive player. Probably not many.
Not many, no.
That all of a sudden the defensive scores always ignite a team and ignite a defense for sure. So great start for the Rebels for sure.
7-0 now for the Rebels. 11:31 to play in the opening quarter. So you talked Tyler McLaren, who's the president of the BCFC and is working with me today at Starlight Stadium. Back-to-back plays, talking about bingo card. Back-to-back interceptions.
Yeah, it's wild. Wild.
I know it's opening day. Anything can happen.
And big returns. So
yes.
I'm sure they'll be sending the stats people up in the stats booth are probably going, okay, we're just finishing writing down the first one. Now we got another one the other way. So
I know every head coach goes through every scenariio, and on the offensive coordinators, defensive coordinators. I don't think you could pick that one.
No.
Pick one way, pick the other, pick six. And we've only played 3.5 minutes, and a lot of things have happened already.
A lot of things have already happened early in this football game for sure. And these teams met early last year too. The Rebels won 45-24 here at Starlight, so they're meeting again here at Starlight in a similar time of the year.
Huskers now on the return.
Good return there.
Yeah, out near the 40-yard line.
We'll get a number. It looks like number.
I'm going with 80.
Yeah, it looks like number 80 there on the return.
Cam Lopson with
and
the
a good
return
there is good yardage there, good field position to start this drive. Nice thing when guys do the returns is when they get upfield. Nothing annoys coaches more when people dance or go backwards or do that kind of stuff. So it's nice when you see a return like that where the returner just plants his foot, finds the seam, and gets some good yardage. So good field position here for the Huskers to start this second drive of the season.
I'm sure the special teams coaches want you to go north-south.
North-south.
East-west is not really doing much.
Doesn't get a whole lot of – you don't get any stats. You don't help your team. So it doesn't do a whole lot of good doing that for sure.
All right, Huskers have run one play, and it ended up being a touchdown for the Rebels. Let's see what they come back with here. First down, 40-yard line. Play it safe, go up the middle, and get good first down yardage. Is taking that handoff is Grady Andraha.
Good run there by Grady, as that was another similar play to what the Rebels did with Carter Williams. So really good holes created up front by the Huskers offensive line, and this is what you want if you're the Huskers. Settle things down, get 8 yards on first down. Now you're second and manageable, 2nd and 2 here.
Grayson Crackle is the quarterback for the Valley Huskers.
Offside there.
Jumped into the
I assume this will be against the Rebels, as it seems they're pointing that direction. Rebels were coming with a blitz on that one, and one of the Rebel defenders looked like they were trying to hold their water but just crossed the line of scrimmage. So I would think this will be offside. It is against the Rebels, so that'll be a first down for the Huskers, and they will happily take that 5 yards and get a new fresh set of downs.
4:02 into the opening quarter from Starlight Stadium. 7-0 for the Rebels. Huskers now first down. 53-yard line. Crackle with a handoff inside, but that's going nowhere. Grady Andraha was buried for a loss on the play.
Yeah, Grady Andrea there, he was coming in and thought he could get to the right there, bounce that one a little right. The Rebels are coming with one of their linebackers was blitzing, so much better job there by the Rebels defensive front to kind of get into their holes and making sure that there was no cutback lanes for Andrea. Of course, Grady won many special teams players of the week last year for the Huskers as a returner, so now he's getting some running back duties.
Second down and 12. Crackle over the middle, and that's another interception. Another interception for the Rebels, 2 already, and we haven't played 5 minutes. That is Seth Beckwith, linebacker with the pick.
Yeah, Seth Beckwith read that one and followed the quarterback's eyes there. Made another big play, and that's 2 turnovers for the Huskers. They won't like that as we're only about 5 minutes in here in the early part of the first quarter, so they'll settle down and then, like I say, get their feet underneath them. I have no doubt. But for the Rebels, that's big, getting 2 turnovers and being able to obviously put points up on the board. And now you've got a short field for your offense.
Beckwith in his 5th year of junior football from Kingston, Ontario. And he sets up his quarterback, Anthony Cancellaire. First down on the 49-yard line of the Valley Huskers. Quick pass on a slant. Brown dances one man and then gets pushed out of bounds. And I think we're going to have a face mask.
So again, you see the explosiveness of Zion Brown. That was an RPO, run pass option play for Anthony. So he had the choice there, and now he just threw a quick little slant or a stop to Zion. But you see what he can do after he catches the ball. We saw it in the first drive. Now we see him get outside, break a couple tackles, and puts the pressure on the defense to the point where they have to grab a face mask as he was going out of bounds. So Zion Brown, he can make something out of what would seem like a 5-yard type play, and we've seen it early in the first quarter here for the Rebels.
In his 5th year at Halifax. First down now for the Rebels, who lead 7-0. 9.5 minutes still to play in the opening quarter from Starlight Stadium. Try to bounce the outside, but getting buried is Carter Williams. So a negative play on offense on first down.
Really nice play there by the Huskers front as they just blew that one right up in the backfield off their left side, the Rebels' right side. Really nice play as there was penetration there, and that wasn't going anywhere. I thought Anthony might have pulled that one and threw it again, but decided to hand the ball off to Carter Williams. But great job by the Husker front to make that a loss on first down, bring it up second and about 13.
Offensive coordinator Rob Lervold puts the signs into the offense. Anthony Cancellaire out of Baltimore, Maryland. His first year in the BCFC. Second down and long. And that one over the head of the intended receiver, Josh Nevin. So third down.
Field goal unit coming on for the Rebels as that one just sailed a little bit on Anthony, but good job by the Huskers defense there. You know, they had the second turnover. They had a bit of a short field. They were able to hold the Rebels to a field goal opportunity here. So good job by the Huskers defense as they were able to limit this to a field goal opportunity on when they're facing a short field against a good offense.
Number 6 is listed as Aiden Bowles.
Aiden Bowles.
Listed as a wide receiver, but in to do the kicking here from 30 yards out, and that is up and good.
Good kick there by Aiden Bowles. Zion Brown with the hold for him there. So Rebels will be happy. They got points out of the turnover, and that's not an easy field goal to make. So good job by Aiden Bowles. So, and again for the Huskers, they have to be somewhat happy. They limited that to a field goal, and now they have to just settle down, get their offense on the play. I'd be surprised if they weren't going to go back to trying to establish some of the running back there with Grady Andrea and the backfield, but we'll see what they do here as they elect to take the ball on the 35-yard line. So they will start their offense there here to start another drive.
8:17 to play in the opening quarter. Rebels 10, Huskers 0. Opening day. Both teams have a bye next week. And then the Huskers will return to Exhibition Stadium in Chilliwack, and they'll play their home opener on August 1st.
Yes, against the Langley Rams, and they're excited to host. They got new turf at Exhibition Stadium in Chilliwack, so they're excited, I know, to get back to playing with some new turf under their feet at Exhibition.
First down for the Valley Huskers. Crackle swings it out to McDonald, but he's buried by 3 red jerseys in a hurry.
That was Braden McDonald there as they got the throw out there. It'll be a minimal gain, if any, there, as the Rebels defense was quick to swarm to that ball. But again, they tried to get the ball out to the outside, got it out there all right, but just good defense there by the Rebels to limit that gain or even make it a no gain there on first down.
Well, Tyson Sopp was one of the 3, and in talking to head coach Connor Bryan in the middle of the week, and you know this league way better than anybody else, but he said that this is not just the best secondary in this league, it might be the best secondary in the nation. That's how confident he is in his back, and they're going to get tested here in a long pass. It lands incomplete at the 40-yard line.
Yeah, I have heard the same. I didn't quite hear it to that degree, but you would know more than I would on that one.
Well, he was very confident. Let's just put it that way. Cameron,
I know when you got guys like, and there's another guy we haven't mentioned yet, except he had a return, Cam Cohn, number 2, and he's a heck of a ball player there. So
that was Cam Cohn covering, there was nobody open there. That was actually lucky for the Huskers that it landed incomplete.
Yeah, Cam was in good cover there, and he's a guy that he had a really good season last year, and I think big things are going to come from him in 2026 and beyond.
Rebels ahead 10-0, 7:17 to play, clock running in the opening quarter from Starlight Stadium. This punt is angled to the near side, and Isaiah Boutin lets it bounce, picks it up.
Good job by the Huskers there, not taking a no yards penalty. Anytime the ball's kick was good, the punt was good as it angled towards the sideline. So special teams coaches always like it when you get it on the other side of the hash mark. So that's a good thing. But they did a good job there. Cover team did a good job there getting out of that 5-yard zone, which is always hard to do when the ball's bouncing backwards towards your own goal line.
Well, it's a big part of the Canadian game as opposed to the NFL game. The kicking is, and that's another thing that the coaches talked about during the week, is how important it is to be able to manage your kicking game in the Canadian football rules.
Yeah, no question about that.
First down, Rebels leading 10-0. 50-yard line. Cancellaire almost had that picked, and there's nothing but green grass in front of that green jersey.
Yeah, that's 7 going the other way, and Anthony knows that he got away with one there. As the Huskers were coming with a blitz off Anthony's backside to his left, and he got that away. But there was nothing but green grass if that one was hauled in for the Huskers. So that could have been a huge play and a huge mistake by the Rebels offense.
Second down and 10. Technically the 51-yard line for the Rebels. Cancellaire caught in the flat. And trying to dance for a first down, but coming up just short at the 51-yard line of the Huskers. Now we have a flag down.
Late flag
in the back.
I didn't see if there was a face mask here. That's where you think you might see it from that backside, but the Rebels seem to think it's going to be against the Huskers, but we couldn't see anything up here from our broadcast booth.
Just saw that big orange hanky come out. Josh Nevin with the reception. He came up a couple yards shy, and it looks like they're going to get the rest of it on the penalty. And it looks like a big one. So you're probably right about that, Tyler. There might have been a hand on the face mask again. Yeah. And I'm sure the officials on opening day are setting a precedent to all the players about what's going to be accepted and what's not. You would know as the president what your hot spots were.
Yeah,
with your officials.
And what we see usually at the start of the season is you do tend to see a little bit more penalties. So, and it's just the players getting used to things, the officials trying to set the tone, like you say. So sometimes for the first week or two, there are a few more hankies on the field at the fields.
36-yard line and a low pass, incomplete. Brady Jenkins was the intended receiver.
Now, it was interesting. When that last play, when Anthony was throwing it out to that wide side of the field, of course, him coming from playing down south, he realized when you're on this side hash mark and you throw it to the wide side of the field, he's done it obviously a lot in practice, but when you're doing it in a game for one of the first times, you really got to be careful because it's such a wide throw for obviously quarterbacks coming from the American field and that size to coming up here to Canada to throw into the wide side of the field.
Second down and 10.
Just goes on forever, it seems.
Second down and 10, 36-yard line. And another low pass, once again intended for Josh Nevin, but good coverage by the Huskers in the middle of the field, so that will force a third down and 10. And a decision here for Phil Slater, the special teams coach, and his head coach Connor Bryan. See what kind of the leg they've got for a field goal, or are we just going to punt it? I
think they're going to send out the punt team and then play field position, so which makes sense here. This would have been a pretty long field goal, although Bulls made the last one look pretty easy, but I think they're going to play field position here. Punt the ball, hopefully get it out of bounds.
Yeah, make the Huskers work. Jordan Krantz will be punting for the Rebels. Taken right at the goal line, and looks like a no-yard penalty coming up against the Rebels, although they had good coverage. But they're going to give up some yardage. Cam Doan was down there first. Cam Cohn, my apologies.
Wasn't sure if they were going to get, because that kick actually went down the middle of the field, which usually you're not trying to do in that situation. But I thought the Huskers might elect to give up the single point, play the field position game here, but they elect to bring it out. They do get the no yards call, so that's going to help their field position. But sometimes in that situation, you think to yourself, maybe sometimes giving up the point is better than starting a drive out on your own 3-yard line or 4-yard line. Although their field position should improve here with just be a 5-yard no yards call, because the ball was on the ground there. So the only thing I could think of is if the officials view where they can take that, turn it into a 15-yarder, is if they don't think that the Rebels defense made an effort to get outside the 5-yard zone. So
now, had the Huskers let the ball go into the end zone and give up the point, where did they scrimmage from? 30?
I'd say 35 or 40.
Okay.
I think it's 40 on the Rouge.
On the Rouge, yes.
35 on field goals and 40 on the Rouge.
All right. Well,
so they're starting deep in their own territory. So fans are getting into it. So they got to make some plays here.
First down in the 10-yard line, and a short pickup on first down. Manny Fatillo on the tackle for the Rebels, who lead 10-0 with 5:15 to play in the opening quarter.
Nice play there by Manny as he just stretched that one out. Another player on the Rebel front that I know they're expecting big things from this year, so expect Big Manny to get in there and make a lot of plays this season for the Rebels defense.
Second down and 9. Grayson Crackle still at quarterback for the Huskers. Nearly picked by Cone. He had it in his hands at the 40-yard line, but it slipped through. But again, excellent coverage, and there's a flag back at the maybe a late hit.
This is going to be could be an illegal participation for the Rebels. There was a player. It's going to go against the. There you go, illegal participation. So against the Rebels. So that'll give the Huskers a first down. I saw at the end of that play a Rebel defender. I believe it was number 88 or 89, I believe, had his helmet off. So if you participate in a play, if you're seeing this at home, what happens is if your helmet comes off, you're supposed to not continue and just kind of stop. So chances are what happened is that's an illegal participation by the Rebels because the helmet came off and he kept going.
88 is Zamir Clayton. There he is here coming off. We have another flag here on the near side before the snap.
So this is going to be as he came off the field here. Another penalty will go against the Rebels.
4:31 to play in the opening quarter.
As somebody said something, or the Rebel defender said something as he came off. And again, that's a situation where you got to hold your composure. You can't be doing stuff like that. You already took a 10-yard penalty, and now all of a sudden now you take another one because you can't prevent yourself from saying something. So not a good penalty there at all to take. And I think we see again where the referees are trying to set a tone and say, just play football.
Rebels lead 10-0. Clock running with 4 1/4 to play in the opening quarter from Starlight Stadium in Langford. Crackle will take the snap. 32-yard line. Pass a little tall, incomplete. At the 43-yard line, if they'd been able to haul it in, they would have been close to a first down. But it was just out of the reach of the intended receiver.
That was the right read there by Crackle. He just overthrew him a little bit, and maybe the wind picked up a little bit, as it's definitely up here in the broadcast booth a little bit, but that one just kind of sailed. He had his receiver there, Crackle did, and he just sailed that one a little bit. Otherwise, it could have had positive yards there on first down.
Second down and 10. Huskers on the 32-yard line. Crackle feeling the pressure. He's being chased. He will throw it, and it was almost picked and then almost caught, but either way, it's incomplete.
Yeah, that's one on it. That was a good play by Crackle. He was forced. He had pressure coming to him. It forced him to roll out to his right, and he actually made a good throw there. I thought, like you said, that kind of went through the defender and almost into the hands of Escobar. And he was right on the sidelines, right in front of our broadcast booth on the Husker bench, and he could have come down with that and made a big play for his quarterback. But unfortunately for them, that didn't happen, and they'll send the punt team out here for the Huskers. That was a catchable ball.
Yeah, that's Zach Tuss Escobar, and then there's Joshua. who's on the defensive side for the Huskers. And we got another penalty marker down. So they're really laying down the law here in the opening quarter.
This might be too many men here. There's 13 guys on the field for the Huskers.
Opening day confusion.
Yeah, and the thing is then the coaches won't like this, like those kinds of things, because it's stuff that you practice and stuff that you know you're going to run into in week 1, where you want to make sure you have the right personnel on the field, and that type of stuff usually doesn't happen for any of our teams in week 5 or week 6. But come the start of the season, someone thinks that they're on punt team and realizes that they're not, and those things happen, unfortunately.
After a low snap, the punt is away, and that's
good kick.
Yeah, sailing back to the 30-yard line. Isaiah Boutin gets across the 40 and he's brought down at the 42.
Great job there by the Huskers cover teams, as anytime you get a kick like that, which wasn't overly high, but it was a bit of a line drive kick and a good kick there, as there was pressure on the punter as well. But anytime you get a kick like that goes a long way, you always worry about your punter, especially when it doesn't have the hang time, that you're going to outkick your coverage. But great job there by the Huskers cover teams getting down there, as the Rebels could have had really good field position, but a good kick and good cover means the Rebels will be scrimmaging from their side of midfield.
Carson Turner is doing the kicking for the Valley Huskers.
Carson's been many players of the week last year and the year before, a really exceptional kicker for the Huskers. Punts, kicks, does all that kind of stuff. I believe he was an all-star last year, if my memory is correct. Him and Brady Harper of Prince George were the last. They both had really good seasons last year, and I can't remember which one off the top of my head won the all-star, but Carson is a heck of a kicker for sure.
Okay. Well, most people have been, watching a little bit of World Cup the last month, and we're having a hydration break.
We're bringing something new to football.
3:37 to play in the opening quarter. I'm Jay Longpre, along with President of the BCFC, Tyler McLaren, at Starlight Stadium in Langford, where the Rebels are out to a 10-0 lead over the Valley Huskers. And I guess it's opening day. There's no preseason. You train against each other. So I guess we should be not too surprised, but it's been I think the coaches think this has been a little bit sloppy. 3 turnovers, a lot of flags, but they're another flag, 2 flags, one on each side of the field. Good first down there. Play by the Rebels, close to a first down, but now we'll have to check on the penalty markers.
Good catch there on I believe it is at number 33, if my eyes are okay.
That would be Jeremy Beckwith.
So good catch there by Beckwith. We'll see what there's flags on both sides of the field. So the official on the far side and the near side obviously saw the same thing. So we'll see who jumped. It's usually going to be either an offside or a procedure.
At the moment, the ball is left about 2 yards short of a first down.
Offside against, they marched it back against the Rebels. They said Huskers, but they marched the ball back against it looks like they're going to take 1st and 5.
Maybe they had the option.
Surprised at that. So they could have had 1st and 5 or 2nd and 1. So I'm surprised. They may set the chains here, but I'm surprised the Huskers didn't take the 2nd and 1 over the 1st and 5. But maybe the coaches are early season generators as well.
Or they're working on different down and distances.
I wouldn't mind 2nd and 1 or something, but
maybe the guys
Rebels will take 1st and 5.
Working on certain plays in certain situations. That'll be very close to a first down run. It's still scrambling as Carter Williams trying to get the extra yard to move the chains.
Great hard running there by Carter Williams. He's going to be close to this, but might end up being 2nd and 1 like we thought it might have been with the play before. So looks like they're going to line him up a little bit short there, but good run there by Williams. And I thought he was going to get that first down. So good job by the Huskers front there, as they were able to keep that to about a 4-yard or so gain. So good job there by the Husker front, keeping that under a 5-yard gain for Carter Williams.
Clock running with 2:40 to play in the opening quarter. Rebels leading 10-0. And as you mentioned earlier, Tyler, in this situation, especially in 3-down football, 2nd and 1, you got a lot of options here. This is tough to defend against.
Lots in the playbook here for offensive coordinators.
And miscommunication there, passing the flat, and
Miscommunication between
Zion
the
Brown was
receivers.
looking to block, and now he's chatting with his partner, Aiden Bowles. I got it, you take it.
Yeah, I think they were using that to like a wide receiver screen, and Zion definitely was not looking to catch that pass, and neither was Aiden Bowles. So they're walking off talking about now, which I'm surprised there too that now they're going to kick, they're going to punt here, because I would have thought they would have been in 3-down territory at 2nd and 1, but Rebels, I'd watch fake here for the Rebels here, but I'm surprised they're not going for this on 3rd and 1.
Jordan Krantz will punt. It'll bounce at the 20. Penalty marker down, and a man down for the Huskers at about the 20-yard line.
So a flag on the far side of the field in the neighborhood of where you'd expect to see a hold or an illegal block, probably, based on where that was thrown. But yeah, a little, I'm sure both coaches will probably say a little sloppy, maybe nerves are playing a little bit of role in this here early in the first quarter still, or almost near the end of the first quarter. But these teams and these coaches will clean this stuff up, and they're just unfortunate it is a holding against the Huskers. But I'm sure the coaches will clean a lot of this stuff up, and they'll both go in at the end of the half there and try and say, okay guys, let's get back to what we've been practicing, what we've been doing, and I'm sure they're not liking some of the mistakes of their football teams.
Well, give or take, because the rosters that we got just before kickoff are a little bit different than what we had earlier in the week, but that's okay. But in the vicinity, the Rebels have 12 fifth-year players. The Huskers have 2.
Yeah,
so
that's
a big advantage experience-wise. That's why Connor Bryan is not going to be as pleased as maybe the Husker head coach, even though he's down 10-0. Hey, we're hanging in here against a really good football team on the road.
And that's the thing, is there are ebbs and flows of teams when it comes to their ages and where they're at, and definitely the Huskers are the younger team between these two, and a lot of these guys, it's their first experience of BCFC and junior football. So a lot of these guys came from high school, came from community midget football, so it's their first taste of live bullets, and you're used to hitting in practice, but it's different when you got somebody wearing a different color uniform.
Deep in their own end, a handoff by the Huskers, breaking over the 20 and
Great
still
run
going across the 30, near midfield. Big play for the Huskers. That's their best offensive play here in this opening quarter as we go into the final minute. And we got an injured Husker back at the 25-yard line, but for a change, no flag on the play.
No flags there. Great play there by the Huskers as they were playing that one kind of safe on 2nd and 14 or 13. As they were trying to, I could tell they were probably trying to think, let's get some positive yards here and not kick from the shadows of our own goalpost. And before you know it, once they got the corner on that one, it was just green grass ahead. So great job of blocking by the big boys up front for the Huskers as they turned what they were probably thinking was going to be a 5-7 yard play to get some positive yards into a massive play for their offense. Like you said, biggest play of the game so far for the Huskers. And they get out close to midfield on that run. Do have an injury out on the play, which is always unfortunate.
Yeah. Trying to see, these are not the easiest identifiable uniforms.
No, they're tough to see, and sometimes when you got other players in tight, it's really hard to see the numbers. They look good, but they're sometimes for the working folk at the games, it can be tough to see.
It's Keenan Minsta who's being helped to the sideline. Never like to see that when they have to have help from their teammates. Training staff will look after him. Meanwhile, at the 50-yard line, first down Huskers. Trailing 10-0, and that play is going to be stuffed. Nowhere to go is in the backfield is Miles McPherson of the Rebels.
Yeah, good play there by the Rebels as they want to shut that run down there pretty quick for the Huskers, but I think the Huskers, it's hard to tell which way the wind, if there is any. The flags aren't really moving, but up here, we're a little bit higher up here at Starlight, but it's hard to tell if there is a wind, and if so, which direction it's kind of going, but might be in the Huskers' favor here as they head to close to the second quarter.
McPherson, a fifth-year player from Toronto. He has experience at the university level at York. Second down and 11, high pass and incomplete. But even if it was caught, well covered.
Late flag on the play here again, as this obviously somebody said something, because that came well after the pass was incomplete, and Whoever takes this penalty, I wouldn't want to be the person that has to go to their team bench at the end of this first quarter here, because that's not going to be a good penalty for whoever this might have been on.
Coverage on the play was from Eliezer Jakob by the Rebels.
15-yard penalty against the Rebels, so that's huge for the Huskers as they continue to move, and now they're in Rebel territory.
Barring another penalty, this should be the final play of the opening quarter. First down for the Huskers. Crackle, near side, man open, catch is made. Tackle is made by Tyson Sopp.
Good job there by Crackles. He got that one out really quickly. Again, wide side of the field throw. The ball just hangs up there forever. I'm thinking to myself, where's there going to be a Husker receiver? And then all of a sudden, there was one, and they were able to get positive yards there on first down. So you see a good throw there by Crackle. Good way to end the quarter for the Huskers as they're driving here to start quarter number 2.
Zach Tut Escobar with the catch. And our referee today, Heath Edelston, has let us know that the opening quarter has come to an end. The score, West Shore Rebels 10, Valley Huskers 0 on BCFC TV.
And we'll try and get some out-of-town scores, as there is a couple other games going around across the BCFC today. One up Island in Nanaimo, where the Okanagan Sun, the reigning BCFC champions, will be playing the Vancouver Island Raiders in what should be a really, really good football game there. And later this evening, up in Kamloops, I believe it's a 6 o'clock start, we have the Langley Rams making the trip up to play the Kamloops Broncos at Hillside Stadium. So 3 games. By all means, join us on bcfctv.com and for all 3 of our games throughout the entire season, and tell us on our game of the week action as well. So lots of action across the BCFC here in week 1.
Second quarter underway. Little swing pass for the Huskers. Penalty marker down on the play is Ethan Douglas. Sorry, not Ethan Douglas. Come on, Wind. There you go. Grady Antropa with the reception, but penalty marker down as we start the second quarter at Starlight Stadium.
This is going to be against the Huskers, as Heath Edelston was speaking to the Rebels defense to see what they wanted to do. So Huskers are going to be moving backwards on this one. Didn't see what happened. Holding against number 66 for the Huskers. So that play won't make the Huskers happy, especially when it's a play that's fast developing like that, where it's just a swing pass out of the backfield to the back. So not a real reason to hold it on that play, knowing that the quarterback's going to get the ball out of his hands really quickly. So not a penalty you want to take, as you made a couple really good plays at the end of the first quarter. Now you set yourself back first and 20.
45-yard line of the Rebels. Who lead this game 10-0. Crackle. Aaron went out down the far side, and the catch was made, but the official there said he was out of bounds at the 15-yard line.
Really nice throw there by Crackle. Now was going to an area where you don't really want to throw, and that's where number 2 is on the far side of the field, Cam Combe for the Rebels. And that ball was perfectly thrown in there. I think Cam thought that he was going to be out of bounds and kind of stopped her a little bit, or maybe just lost a little bit of position thinking he was out of bounds. But great throw and catch there for the Huskers. Unfortunately for them, it was just a little bit out of bounds.
Hassan Kangrahal with the catch, but unfortunately not a reception. Crackle under pressure, lets it go, and that is incomplete. Intended receiver was Gurprasad Grihal.
Yeah, the throw went in between 2 Husker defenders as they were running some vertical routes there on with 3 receivers to this near side. So the ball was kind of thrown in between 2 receivers. So a little bit of either an overthrow in one regard or an underthrow, depending on where Crackle was trying to fire that one out too. But a really good drive there for the Huskers, as they needed that just to flip the field. And now, barring a big return here, if the Huskers can get a big kick out of Carson Turner, they should be able to flip the field here on the Rebels and be able to be in a position where if they play some defense, they can get the ball back in a good field position.
Turner gets his punt away.
And
skips by Boutin.
Went right through, and so that'll be a rouge for gets a single point. So almost a perfect kick by Carson Turner, as that one just went through the end zone before it went out of bounds. So I'm sure he was kind of hoping it would kind of veer a little bit to the sidelines after the bounce there, go out of bounds around the 1 or 2 yard line. But on the positive part, it's the first point of the season for the Valley Huskers. So they are on the board, but they had an opportunity to pin the Rebels deep there. But unfortunately for them, they take the rouge and makes the score 10-1.
Isaiah Boutin in his third year out of Halifax, and that will get through him, but it's only 1 point. 10-1 Rebels now. 13:40 to play in the first half. And they will scrimmage.
The positive play, I mean, like I said, positive series of events for the Huskers there. And that's something, if you're on the sidelines of the Rebels, or excuse me, on the Huskers coaching staff, you're telling your players, especially your young guys who are literally playing in their first quarter of action ever in this conference, in this league. So you're telling your players, you know, like let's build off of that. You're going against a team that's a perennial playoff team for the last numerous years. And when you make good plays, you have good things come together. Keep it going.
First down. Anthony Cancelliere being chased, and that's his throw go near side. Catch is made by Bowles, but he's out of bounds.
Not much argument for the Rebels there, as that was right in front of where we are here in the broadcast booth, and that was definitely out of bounds. But good catch there by Bowles, but definitely out of bounds, and they'll move on to 2nd and 10.
Canadian rules, 1 foot in
yes.
for a catch.
Yeah.
NFL 2 feet, correct? And that was one of the questions I had for Connor was, do you have the option? Can you appeal? Like, can you throw a red flag? And he said no.
No challenge flags. We actually did have that in our league, believe it or not, years ago.
Yeah.
And it was taken away probably about, I would say, 15 years ago. We did have that option for coaches' challenges.
Got a little out of hand, did it?
Yeah, there were some stories there about that one.
Cancelliere over the middle and just incomplete. Just out of the reach of the intended receiver, Jeremiah Beckwith.
Yeah, Beckwith, that was a good call there, good throw. It sailed a little bit on Anthony, but Beckwith probably, when he sees that one, he's probably going to think he should have come down with that. But a lot of times when you're going in that area and you know the safeties there, obviously the days of being able to unload on people or anything else are gone, but still doesn't mean receivers aren't thinking about things when they're going in there and you're going to expose your arms and your ribs and you know there's safety lurking around in the middle of the field.
Beckwith in his 5th year of junior football at Kingston, Ontario. Now, I was a high school baseball coach for a long time in this area, and they changed the rules about double plays that were on second base and can't run the catcher. It doesn't mean a guy won't do it once in a while.
Do it. And sometimes players forget.
Or they'll just say, you know what, I'm going to take my lick right here and pay the consequences later.
And sometimes it's instinctual. The more
especially in football.
There's going to be a penalty.
Yep, roughing the punter.
So we'll see how this is called.
Krantz got the kick
Either
away.
way, it's going to be a first down for the Rebels because it's either going to be contacting the kicker, so it's going to be contacting the kicker, so that's going to be a 10-yard penalty against the Huskers.
Good coverage on the play, though, from Dominic Robinson, who made the tackle.
So the Rebels will be, third and 10, so this is going to be a 10-yard penalty. So the Rebels should be sending their offense on the field. So that's a 10-yard penalty. So again, you can see that one coming. There's no real doubt about that one there, just whether they're going to call it a 10-yard penalty or a 15-yard for roughing. But like you can see the Husker defender coming in there from the punter's right-hand side, and he just ran right into him. So I mean, he didn't try and get to the ball or find a good aiming point or anything. So another teaching opportunity that I'm sure when they special teams get back at it next week, they'll be talking about like your aim point for a punter and how you're taking the ball off his foot, not running him over like that one.
10-1.
Those are the learning times.
Yes, and that's why both coaching staffs, I'm sure, are excited about the fact that they have a bye next week, so they have lots of time to fix little things.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially the Huskers playing their home opener on August 1st. First down play. Positive yardage for the Rebels. Very close to a first down at midfield. First touch for Jaron Harrinan.
I think both teams actually coming off their byes too get to play their regional rivals with I believe the Langley Rams headed to Exhibition Stadium, and the Rebels to play the Huskers, and then the Rebels heading up Island to play the BI Raiders. So
that is correct. Also on August 1st.
August for a long weekend, so it's
make
great
your
action
plans.
there. Make your plans now.
Sticking around on the island and go watch junior football. Bowles comes to the near side, just down below us here at Starlight Stadium. First down. Catch is made by Zion Brown. And he's swarmed after a gain of about 7.
Much better job there by the Husker defense as they did, like you said, swarmed to the ball there, and that was much better. And I think they learned pretty quick in that first quarter after a couple of times. And they probably said on the sidelines, if we give Zion Brown any room, the yak yards after catch are going to be huge. So that's probably been echoed on the Husker sidelines for their defense. So much better job. If it was a short throw, that was a much better job of limiting Zion Brown. As we've seen a couple times where he turns something into something more a couple times earlier in this first quarter.
Caden McEachran was the first man in for the green-clad Huskers. Cancelier is going to run it. And they'll move the chains for the Rebels.
Good run there, short amount of yards needed, and Anthony just took off once he saw a bit of a seam there. He was off to the running, and that's something that I think you're going to see. The Huskers obviously realize that what the Rebels have with Anthony, as well as other teams around the conference, are going to look and say, okay, we have to game plan for not only this guy's arm, but also his feet. So that's something that we've seen a lot of so far early here for the Rebels.
First down for the Rebels. Brown breaks one tackle, dances down the sideline, and then wisely steps out of bounds.
Right on cue. There's Zion Brown, and there's what he does. Takes again a short throw, gets a straight arm in there on the defender, and makes a lot of extra yards there.
Piling up these passing yards for his quarterback.
Yeah, I expect the two of them will probably get a lot of yards this year. As they seem to have good connection, and in chatting with Zion before the game, he was quite excited about the new Rebel pivot.
5 minutes into the second quarter, 10-1 Rebels, but they're knocking on the door here. 20-yard line, first down. Will he run? Will he throw? He's going to throw, and he throws into the wrong color. Huge play for the Huskers. Interception in the end zone.
Yeah, that's a throw that I think when Anthony comes off, that the Rebels are going to probably say, when you're throwing across your body like that as a right-handed quarterback, and you're rolling out to your left, really, really hard throw. And you see, obviously a lot of the guys in the CFL and the NFL can make those throws. A lot of them can't even make that throw. But that's, especially when you're down in the red zone, it's a really, really hard throw when you're rolling out to the other side. Not as difficult a throw when you're rolling with your arm side, your throw side. But in that case, that's a tough throw. And the Huskers, opportunistic, made the play. They had a couple defenders there, so big play again by the Huskers defense.
Well, I'd say, will he run, will he pass? I was inferring that I expected him to take off and do more like a Patrick Mahomes. I can do either. Josh Allen, I can do either. I'm sure there's CFL quarterbacks that have that threat as well. But he's learning as well. It's a new league for him. And the Huskers now will try to get the ball out and kill some time off the clock here. They're only trailing 10-1.
Yeah, if Huskers can get a couple of first downs here a little bit. Again, field position has, for the most part, been in the Rebels' favor this year, this game, where the Huskers have been starting drives and having drives close to their own goalpost, whereas the Rebels have been starting the majority of their drives more in midfield or even Husker territory. So for the Huskers, you want to get a couple first downs. Big play here on second and about 7. So if they could convert here, get a first down, that would be huge.
Crackle takes the snap. His pass is
nice
caught.
Catch.
That's Grady Andraha. He's been a favorite target of Crackle in this first half.
Yeah, good play there. Just a little curl right there. Crackle to Grady, and that was a really nice pitch and catch there. and a big play, and that does a couple things. Number one, it gives your defense a little bit of a rest, a little bit more time to get ready. Moves the sticks, gives yourself a little bit more separation where if you have to punt, you're not going to be punting with your own goalposts right at your back. So good job there by the Huskers, Crackle, and the offense.
8 minutes to play in the opening half at Starlight Stadium in Langford. Rebels 10, Huskers 1. And a big hit after a very short gain, if a gain at all. Second down and long coming up for the Huskers. Is stepping in there and making that tackle is Dominic Robinson.
Yeah, really nice play by Robinson there from his linebacker position. When that play was started, it looked like there was going to be a hole there and a few yards at least for the Huskers, and that just closed up really quickly with Robinson making a nice tackle. But that looked like it had a bit of potential there for the Huskers, as there was room there coming through the hole.
Second down and 9 for the Huskers. Crackle. Hoping that his receiver could run underneath it. The intended target was Ephraim Fisher, but that lands incomplete. And so now the Rebels, as long as they don't see any more flags, should have excellent field position and get that offense back out there and try to add to this 10-1 advantage that they have with 7 1/4 to play in the second quarter.
Yeah, the Huskers were able to get at least 1, maybe 2 first downs on that one and not drive, so they were able to move the ball a little bit to give themselves a little bit of space, but Rebels should be, unless there's a really, really good kick here by Turner, Rebels should be scrimmaging inside Husker territory unless, like I say, Turner can boom one here, but should be good field position for the Rebels, but on this next possession. Look out.
Ooh, nearly blocked. The Turner gets it away. And that's a Husker
really
bounce,
kick.
and it goes out of bounds near the 50-yard line. It's not even an opportunity for the Rebels, Isaiah Boutin, to make a return on it. Turner just got it away, and so, but it still will be excellent field position for the Rebels.
Yeah, I thought that one was going to get blocked originally when I saw the time Turner was taking to kick that, but all of a sudden he got it away, and fortunate for him, he got a really good bounce on that play. So I stand corrected where the Rebels don't field with this drive in there in Husker territory as they're starting at their own 50-yard line. Still good field position, obviously, to start this drive, but I'm sure the Husker special teams people will be happy with that.
Referee Heath Edelston taking a hydration break for his crew here on opening day. It was 19 degrees Celsius at game time. 10-1, Rebels leading here in this first half of play. 6:55 remaining on BCFC TV, and
got an out-of-town scoreboard.
Oh,
update.
there you go. What do you got from Nanaimo?
From up island here, the Okanagan Sun lead the Vancouver Island Raiders by a score of 14-7. So that is after the first quarter. Kickoff in Nanaimo at NDSS Field. It was the same here as it is at Starlight, so 4 p.m. start. So after one quarter, the Okanagan Sun lead 14-7 over the Vancouver Island Raiders.
Defending BCFC champions. And by the way, it's 112 days to the Canadian Bowl.
Not that you were counting or anything.
Inside handoff and a sharp gain for the Rebels.
Really nice tackle there by, looks like 97 for the Huskers.
That'd be Austin Alexander.
Yeah, from his defensive end position spot, he just mauled the Rebel running back there. A nice play by Alexander coming off the edge as he with a nice solo tackle.
Second down and 5.
Yeah, you mentioned Canadian Bowl. BC will be hosting the Canadian Bowl this year. So
that's where I was going next.
All 7 of our teams are going to be excited for that opportunity.
Cancellaire, and the catch is made. Zion Brown at the 33-yard line. Move those chains, say the Rebels.
Really tight window there for Anthony to zip that one into Zion Brown, and he was able to do it. A Husker defender had his arm out. It just went by his fingertips. So tight window there, good throw, and go to a reliable receiver like Zion Brown, and he moves the sticks for the Rebels.
33-yard line. 10-1, Rebels in red with the lead. 5.5 to play in the first half. Anthony Cancellaire takes the snap. Busy man out of the backfield has been Carter Williams. short gain. Tackle made there by Aiden Weiser of the Huskers.
Great job there by the Husker defense as Carter Williams was forced to bounce on that play, and Weiser was able to make the tackle. But anytime you see, if you're a defensive coach or player, you love to see the back having to bounce. As soon as he's bouncing and having to head more out to the sidelines, that means more of your buddies are going to come and swarm the carrier. So great job there by the Huskers front guys, forcing Carter Williams to bounce that run, and then all of a sudden a horde of green jerseys led by Weiser was able to make the tackle.
Second down. Cancelier dances in the pocket. Now he's going to slide down after about a gain of 5.
Good run there by Anthony. Decision time for Rebels head coach Connor Bryan. So we'll see. I suspect they may go here, judging by they haven't sent their field goal team out. So they're going for gamble mood there, as Anthony was able to get what he could there, but it's going to be about 3rd and 6 or so for the Rebels here headed towards the opposite side grandstands. Big play here for the Husker defense. If they can make a play here, that would really give them some momentum, taking them over on downs.
Zion Brown is in the slot on the near side. That's where they're going, but instead it's Bowles, and it's in and out of his hands. Incomplete. So,
yeah, Aiden Bowles is not going to like that one. He's going to kick himself as he's coming off the sidelines. That's when he would want to catch it. I'm sure he probably catches 95 times out of 100, but it's a break for the Husker defense, something positive to build on. And again, this whole half, they haven't had the field position that the Rebels have had, but they've had the bend but don't break approach. And at 10-1, and if they can make something happen here and get this to 10-4 or even 10-8 with a major score, well, I think if you're the Huskers, you're going in the locker room feeling pretty good about yourselves.
100%. And that was a well-designed play from Rob Lervold and his offense, because Brown would be the one you would think would be the man you're throwing to, but they didn't throw to him. He was the decoy. Whoa. Now a big hit in the backfield. 2 red jerseys got in there just about the time of the handoff.
Yeah, there was number 7 who comes up limping a little bit there for the Rebels. That's Seth Beckwith, and another front guy, another front defensive lineman. They were almost taking that handoff, like you said. So that was nearly disaster for the Huskers. But the good news for them is they'll fight another down here at 2nd and about 12.
Yeah, Beckwith is in some distress at the moment.
As the wind picks up here.
Yeah, the flags are actually starting to move on the field for the first time. It's been blustery where we are.
Yeah.
But Beckwith now in a sitting spot, looking lower leg. Might have got stepped on, or one of his own big men. I got the name right here, Isteni Wright. Big man. May have landed on his own teammate by accident.
Yeah, lots of games ahead, like we were talking about in BC before we stopped there for the play of BC conference. Our conference will get to host the Canadian Bowl this year, so whoever wins our conference will get the automatic bye into the Canadian Bowl and host that game. So that comes around every 3 years where we host that game. So it's always fun wherever that game gets played, whoever our BC champion is. And the Prairie Conference will actually travel this year to the Ontario Conference for the national semifinal game. So that's the rotation for 2026. So Canadian Bowl will be in one of our parks, and that's always exciting when that comes around every 3 years.
And for those who are just watching the BCFC for the first time, thank you for letting us join you today. I'm Jay Longpry with Tyler McLaren. The 2025 national champions hail from Saskatoon, and they beat the Okanagan Sun last October 21-18. First down for the Huskers, who trailed 10-1. Under pressure, Crackles throws, going to be picked. And running it back. Yeah, look out, this is trouble for the Huskers. Flag, 2 flags, 3 flags, 4 flags. Meanwhile, running it into the end zone is Cameron Cohn, but that's a lot of linen on the field.
Yeah, I think literally I see 1 flag, 2, 3, 4.
Yep, at least 4.
I think we see at least 4 flags as we count those up. So
who's the one that didn't throw a flag?
Yeah, they pretty much, it looks like they all did. There's even one down here on the in front of the Rebels bench. So,
yeah,
so this will take a little while to sort out, obviously. But for the Rebels, like the Huskers, Crackle was under tremendous pressure there as the Rebels brought major league pressure on him on that play, and he just kind of threw that one up. Cam Cohn was opportunistic and caught it when he was playing center field there for the Rebels defense, and then there was a whole lot of stuff happening. I definitely saw one clip by the Rebels, so there's going to be a definite penalty.
The one I'd be concerned about if I was on the Rebels side of things is that one that's back near the goal line.
So
that could be a roughing the passer,
Correct.
and then everything else happened is immaterial.
Yeah, this is going to take definitely a little while to sort it out here for the officials, and even the one on the far side, there's one on the very, very far side, probably about 5 yards in. So
we're at the 45-yard line.
So if you could see that at home, there's hankies all over the field. But
well, that'd be about somewhere in the area where Cone actually started.
That's
and then came to the middle of the field and picked it. Then you have the possibility of the quarterback getting a late hit, and then everything else, like you said, clips and everything else probably just get thrown out the window here. But we'll find out from our referee Heath Edelston. 2:44 to play in the first half, and it's 10-1 for the Rebels.
I think the one at the 25-yard line right around where the hash mark is, and the one around the 30-yard line in front of the Rebels bench, those are probably the clip to wash out, because that almost happened right in between those two ones.
Now, if you get a penalty against both sides, then they...
Depends on if one's a UR, I'm not sure if that plays a role, because usually URs, obviously, well, we know those are 15-yard penalties. But
the roughing the passer would be probably the one they're considering first. 10-1 for the Rebels.
But if it's as simple as roughing the passer against the Rebels, and then a clip, we know I'm 95% sure there's going to be a clip or an illegal block against the Rebels on the return. So it should be fairly easy. If there's two calls against the Rebels, in theory, this should be easy. So I'm guessing that because there's a conversation going on and they're trying to figure it out, it might be a case where there's at least one penalty on each team, maybe 2 and 1.
There's a lot of pointing by the guys in red towards the Huskers.
So the Huskers, we know the Huskers are going to keep the ball. So that's huge, as their bench is happy down here to our left. So roughing the passer. Oh. So that's going to be 45 yards of penalties
against the Rebels.
As I know there was a rough in the passer. I think it was number 62. I know I heard a face mask by Cam Cone, so he must have on the return grabbed the guy's face mask. On the return is my guess, and then I heard a blindside block, which that was the clip that I thought we saw. So that makes sense. So
Manny Fatillo had the original penalty for roughing Crackle, and then everything else fell apart for the Rebels after that, because all of a sudden the Huskers have their best field position of the day on offense.
So that's 45 yards in penalties.
Boy.
So that's a big one. So
that's about that's literally throwing the book at a team.
Rebels aren't complaining too much about it. So
39-yard line, first down for the Huskers. 2:40 to play. Each side with their 2 timeouts still remaining. I didn't need that. Crackle now going to have to scramble, and he'll slide down, and that was very close to being a late hit on Bryce Ruther, but they let him.
Yeah,
basically just gave himself. He landed on top of the quarterback, but he didn't go with too much force.
For a second there, the Husker bench obviously trying to get one there when I think they knew there wasn't much. But if you can come to the 80-year quarterback and question it, you never know. You might get a UR against Bryce Ruther on that one. But to me, there was nothing there, and good non-call there by the officials.
Yeah, Crackle had given himself up, and Ruther didn't come with too much force. So it's 2nd down and 9 for the Huskers. Here comes the blitz, and down goes Crackle at the 42-yard line.
Another low snap that the Huskers will want to get that cleaned up too, because Crackle's twice had to go down to the ground to be able to retrieve those ones. And it's always hard, especially Crackle's obviously a new player to our league and whatnot, but when a quarterback has to take their eyes down to the ground to get a ball, it means they can't look down the field. So that's something that for a quarterback who's getting his feet wet and getting some action here, you don't want to hinder him with low snaps where he's got to pick the ball off the turf, because that's something that isn't going to make him very successful reading what's downfield.
Zamir Clayton and Connor Shaw were two of the Rebels that were in the backfield. And a lot of plays in all football levels are on timing. So you have the snap disrupts the timing, the whole play's in the tank.
So Carson Turner will probably again be looking for, this one goes down the middle of the field again.
Boutin with the return. And we have a penalty marker behind him.
Probably going to be an illegal block or a hold against the Rebels. So that's going to cost them 10 yards as there was a hold. It was a hold against the Rebels right in front of, right around the Husker, the Husker bench. So the Rebels are not going to have the greatest field position here to start this drive as they're going back 10 yards from where the infraction happened. So opportunity here, obviously the Rebels have the ball here with a chance to get some points before the half and extend this lead. But if you're the Huskers, you're thinking, okay, when are we going to start using our timeouts with the hope of stopping the Rebels, getting the ball back, and maybe getting something for yourself before the end of this half.
1 minute 50 seconds remaining in the first half. 10-1 for the Rebels.
I always like this part of the game because you get the chess match between both the coaches where they're, okay, you're going to call a timeout or am I going to call one, and maybe you call one on second down and then you don't call one again. So always a fun part of the game here right before the half.
Yep. 10-1 Rebels. It's the deepest they've had to start a drive so far in this first half. Consigliere over the middle, almost picked it. It is picked.
That's a hell of a play.
It was deflected and then caught, and a great play for the Huskers in the final 1:46 of the first half. They have a chance to go in almost even.
Try and get a number here as he's walking through the Rebels or the
52.
Husker. Looks like number 52. It was number 52.
It was on the deflection. Gavin Christensen got it just before it hit the turf.
That's a hell of a play by him on that one as he just stayed with it. Good focus, good concentration, and that's when you make a play. You got to make a play for your team. And I thought that one was gonna go down to the floor, down to the turf with no trouble, but to the Husker credit, that's a great job there.
And Consigliere and Brown having a chat as they head back, still trying to work things out on timing, and maybe I expected you to be at this depth on the pass, and you were one step deeper than that, and that changes the whole play.
Well, timing's definitely huge on that one.
First down for the Huskers. Finally 80 seconds of the first half, and they'll try to get it down to the 10-yard line. Grady Andraha on the running play.
Good run there as they get positive yards there. They got about 4 maybe on that play, but what a big play there by Christensen as he just scooped that one just before it hit the turf here at Starlight, and that's a big play for not only your defense but obviously your entire team.
Well, maybe you can get into the end zone here. You can go into the locker room only down by 2.
Yeah.
Crackle will take the snap. Second down and 7. Into the end zone, and it will be picked.
Oh, no.
Picked again. Oh, we've seen a lot of that in this first half. Intercepted at the goal line. Isaiah Boutin is there to take it. So instead of at least a field goal to be within a score, a touchdown, and you're within a couple, and now you're still down by 9.
And that's one where Crackle, and again, he's getting his feet wet to this league, but I'm sure when he comes off, the Huskers are going to like his drive there to make something happen. But in that case, I think what you're telling him to do is in that route, because they were running a corner route, I think you have to tell your quarterback, you throw it where only your guy's going to be able to catch the ball. And so in other words, if you overthrow him and the ball goes incomplete out the back of the end zone, that's okay. What you can't do is exactly what happens there, where you give the Rebel an opportunity to make a catch and step in front.
He left that one flat.
For sure.
So Boutin can come underneath, almost like you want your receiver to go out and then up.
You got to overthrow that
and then throw the ball to the back of the end zone and hope your guy can run under it.
Correct.
Because the defender's going to be beat.
Yes, for sure. But at the very worst, it's going to be incomplete out the back.
But you got to
catch it.
Got to leave yourself at least to get a field goal. But
whoa, look at this, Carter Williams.
Now big run up the middle out to the 20-yard line. They went to someone different than Carter Williams. Carson Graham.
Well, I was okay. There we are. Didn't see the change there, but yeah, that's one you want to. That previous play, if you're the Huskers, you want that where only your guy's going to catch that in the corner at the back. So another learning opportunity for a young player.
As you said earlier, Tyler, I don't think the guys really realize how far a throw that is.
Very hard throw.
Right.
Very on an angle out there, and the DB's got lots of time to step up. Cancelaire's pass is incomplete, and penalty marker might have a.
This is going to be a pass interference call. Yeah. There was some hand fighting there on the far side of the field, so this will probably be a pass interference call against the Huskers on this one. There might have been a little tug there on the jersey. Hard to tell from where we are on this side of the field, but so that is a penalty against the Huskers. Number 2 on the play there.
Cole Shanks.
Cole Shanks guilty of that one, but there was a little bit of contact, but that's a tough call as the Huskers look to be able to try and get the ball back there with under a minute left here in the first half.
Just nosing the 30-yard line, and there's 33 seconds remaining in the opening half. 10-1 for the Rebels. Anthony Cancelaire. Graham.
See if anybody uses their timeouts here.
I was just going to say, the Huskers would be calling one now and hope to get a 3 and out and get the ball back.
So if you're the Huskers, you might have thought to call one there, as the Rebels might be content here just to get out of the half here up 10-1, but neither team seems to want to do much here.
No, the clock's running. We're under 25 seconds remaining, so it's almost like both coaches have said, let's just go sit down for 15 minutes and recover from this.
Get the whiteboard out.
Yeah, it's been an interesting first half. 2nd down and 6. Graham once again brought down hard at the 37-yard line. Clock stops with 9.3 seconds to play in the half.
Yeah, neither team's. So the Huskers will. I imagine the Rebels will just keep their offense on the field here, run one more player, or take a knee here and get to the half. No sense of putting your punt team out. Yeah, and you could hear offensive coordinator Rob Lervold tell his quarterback, just let it go to 0 and then snap it.
And we'll hit reset. Clock runs to 0, but they can run one more play. We'll see if they actually do run one, or if he's just going to take a knee here. Looks like he's going to just take a knee
as he comes under center.
There we go. All right, well, the first half has come to an end at Starlight Stadium. Thank you for letting us join you today. I'm Jay Longpre with Tyler McLaren, and our score at halftime, West Shore Rebels 10, Valley Huskers 1 on BCTV.com.
Okay, team, let's have a great show.
Rank is reflected in the positions and names.
Yeah, my name's Harold Skadberg. I am co-owner of Viking Properties, formerly Pacific Coast Land. We decided to change the name to more reflect our heritage.
My name is Jan Egil Gulbrandsen. I'm a co-owner and partner with Harold in Viking Properties.
John and I have been partners since 1986.
In the old days, we bought lots and built houses and sold them, and we mostly build condo buildings now instead of single-family homes.
John and I go back to Norway quite a bit, getting ideas from there how to do things better. We're using solar panel on the roofs and electric car chargers. And more people are driving electric, and we want to be prepared for the future and promote some healthy and environment-friendly options. And people seem to like that. We're fortunate enough to have Ben taking over more and more for us. He's been working with me for probably 4 or 5 years now, and the company is in good hands.
My name is Ben Gulbrandsen. I'm the president of Pacific Viking Group Properties. So I used to frame for Harold 20 years ago when I was just out of college. I became a lawyer down in California, and I was looking at my next step in my career, and I just took over as the president last year. And we have plans to expand what we've been doing by fourfold in the next couple years.
And now we're building very close to the downtown core of Langford, and we got mountains, we got snow, we got forest. Everything is in walking distance, basically. So you get a whole lot more for your money in Langford.
It's several years now being deemed or voted the best place in Canada to live. With all that, people are working from home and they're finding it kind of crowded in a lot of places, so we're trying to offer larger units for them.
And so what we try to do is really provide the most square footage possible within people's price range in a very neutral palette so that people can come in and make their own mark on their own home.
tip of our fingers. Well, I never found all of the places we'll go where we are. Doors shut and open. Well, life's never far behind. All these places are unknown to me. All these things that we'll see when we go.
Yeah, my name's Harold Skadberg. I am co-owner of Viking Properties, formerly Pacific Coast Land.
My name is Jan Egil Gulbrandsen. I'm a co-owner and partner with Harold in Viking Properties.
We're fortunate enough to have Ben taking over more and more for us. He's been working with me for probably 4 or 5 years now, and the company is in good hands.
My name is Ben Gulbrandsen. I'm the president of Pacific Viking Group Properties. So what we try to do is really provide the most square footage possible within people's price range in a very neutral palette so that people can come in and make their own mark on their own home.
Let's take a long close look where no one else can see. In a dream it was made of gold, and I knew just what to say. Let me take you far away, away. As long as I'm with you, I can do anything. As long as I'm with you, I can do anything. When you're looking for a way to go, won't you reach for my hand? 'Cause I will be with you, just need to hold on.
We're all looking for it. A place to reignite your soul and to awaken your inner child. To leave feeling awestruck, not because of the destination, but because of the journey itself. Take a deep breath and smell the freshness of the air. Listen to nature's music. Look out onto the vast horizon. Indulge in locally foraged food. Feel the warmth of the sun and the coolness of the ocean. Let your senses come alive.
Okay, team, let's have a great show.
Rank is reflected in positions and names.
From Starlight Stadium in Langford, BC, not far from downtown Victoria, BCFC week number 1. I'm Jay Longpre, and we have the president of the BCFC on next door to me here, Tyler McLaren. 10-1 for the Rebels at the half. And we talked earlier at the outset about, would you have this on your bingo card? Do you have that on your bingo card? I'm pretty sure if you're sitting back in the Fraser Valley right now and watching your boys, 10-1 is that's not a bad spot to be. You're in the hunt. You are in this game.
You're right there, and I think the Huskers will take that in that first half as we dissect what happened and what's going to happen. So we do have some stats, and thanks to Heather Foster, our conference statistician. So we'll read those out quickly before we get going here. Rushing yards, the Rebels had 74 yards in that first half. The Huskers had 51. Passing yards, the Rebels had 93. Zion Brown attributed about 85 of that with 5 receptions. The Huskers only 20 yards receiving in that first half. Huskers quarterbacks 3 of 18 for the 20 yards with 3 interceptions. For the Rebels, 6 of 18 with 3 interceptions. So Zion Brown obviously a big part of it, 5 of the 6 receptions. Penalties in that first half, we saw there was quite a few. Rebels 9 for 100 yards. The Huskers 7 for 70 yards, so 170-yard penalties, which is a lot. And lastly, first downs in that first half, the Rebels had 11, and the Valley Huskers had 5. So there's a bit of a snapshot if you're just joining us on bcfctv.com. Thank you, welcome, and there's some info before we start the second half.
10-1 for the Rebels in red. And the Huskers take the second half kickoff.
Ooh.
And down at the 36-yard line.
Good downfield cover by the Huskers there. As we get back in, I do have another update from Nanaimo as well, as they started at the same time as we did here at Starlight. Up in Nanaimo, the Okanagan Sun 14 and the Vancouver Island Raiders 14 at the half. So good one up there in Nanaimo. We thought it would be, and good one here at Starlight, and we thought it would be as well, with the Huskers having a bend but don't break approach and lots of positives to build on. And the Rebels, same thing, lots of mistakes by both sides though, so they'll want to correct those as we start the second half with the first possession going to the Huskers.
Grayson Crackle with the handoff and a big tackle right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on that play, thanks to Zamir Clayton.
Good defense there by the Huskers, and you saw after reading those stats, lots of penalties, which is normal in week 1. Coaches won't like that, and turnovers. That's the theme of and being opportunistic. Obviously, the only touchdown of that first half was by a defender. So we'll wait for our first offensive major touchdown of the season here for these two teams, and I'm sure it'll come at some point here in the second half.
Crackle. Near side and almost intercepted. That was a dangerous ball that hung up in the air, and Miles McPherson nearly had it picked. Intended receiver was Hassan Kangraw. So a quick 2 and out for the Rebels defense, and the Huskers will have to kick it away.
Yeah, Huskers probably were hoping to maybe get something going there with getting the first possession out of the second half, so they won't be happy with going 2 and out. They did dodge a little bit of a bullet there, as that could have easily been an interception by the Rebels, so that's a positive, but I'm sure the Huskers were thinking to themselves, let's get the ball, let's get some first downs and maybe some points here to start the second half.
That ball hops past Boutin. Back to the 20-yard line. Isaiah Boutin. They might have got away with a face mask there, but the Huskers did. But again, that's the second time that's happened to Isaiah Boutin, where the ball's bounced in front of him and gotten by.
Yeah, it looked like there should have been a face mask on that one too. I saw it from up here, and the official was close by but missed it. So that's a break there for the Huskers. And the Rebels will start with okay field position here. Probably not like the field position they had in the first half here, but we'll see what they do on offense. We saw again the importance of Zion Brown with the 5 catches, 85 yards in that first half. Almost all Rebel passing went through him in that first half. We'll see if they try and spread it around.
Inside handoff for Carson Graham. Wrapped up by 2 Huskers after a short gain. So the first half for Anthony Cancellaire, his first in the BCFC. Can't really give him a passing grade on that first half, but we'll see what he's learned, as he was just 6 of 18 and got picked 3 times.
Yeah, and it's like you said, it's his first half in this league, and I know they've been practicing for a few weeks and everything, but live bullets are different than practicing when there's not a stadium full of people and opposing uniforms that are coming to get you. So I'm sure they see a lot of good things, but Anthony will probably want to build on that first half.
Handoff to Graham. I think he's short of a first down. He needed 5. Gavin Christensen, who had an interception in the first half, makes the tackle. 3rd down and 3.
Great job there by the Huskers as they just put a green wall up there, and there was nowhere to go for the Rebels. So their bench is very excited down here to our broadcast left as they got what they wanted on defense. They maybe didn't get what they fully wanted out of the offense in their first possession, but kudos to their defense as they came up big, got a stop, and now should get good field position here.
Jordan Krantz with the punt. That goes out of bounds, and we'll see where they mark this at. Looks like it's going to be at the 48-yard line of the Huskers. 3 minutes into the 3rd quarter from Starlight Stadium. The Rebels leading the Huskers 10-1.
Yeah, not much happening on those 2 drives, so we're almost the same spot in the field, maybe a little bit even better for this Huskers second drive here. So they're going to try and get something going here. As you just get the feeling if they could close this to a 1-possession game, whether it be with a field goal here or a major score, that we could be saddling up for a good football game and a good ending here. But it's just a matter of just getting that. They had a couple opportunities in that first half and just maybe weren't as opportunistic as they would have wanted to be.
16 penalty flags accepted, 160 yards in penalties. So the officials have put their mark on this game. Here's a little inside toss for the Huskers. Hassan Kangaral tried to get around the corner, but the Rebels were there waiting.
Yeah, good defense there by the Huskers. As you see, number 45 was in on that tackle, as well as, we'll see if we can break it in the pile there. Number, I think it's 33 on that far side, hard to tell, but number 3, came in there for the Rebels, as well as that was Isaiah Booten. So good job there as they stretch that one out. No gain on the play, maybe a slight loss there for the Huskers. So it'll be second and about 10.5 or 11.
48-yard line. Crackle throws near side, catch is made. And the Rebels converge quickly as Beckwith gets back into the game. He had a lower leg injury near the end of the first half, but he's back in and he makes the tackle.
Yeah, good job there by Seth Beckwith, as if he doesn't make that tackle, the Husker receiver might have been able to shake free and just get that extra 6 or 7 yards to get a first down. So good tackle there as the Rebels brought some pressure there on 2nd and long. And again, some positive yards there for the Huskers, but just can't seem like they ran a lot of those plays that are out to the flats, and a lot of those quick throws. And I'm wondering if they're going to come back to something vertical, something down the seam, something more like right down the seams. If there's a low snap here.
Carson Turner gets the punt away, and that'll hop.
Another Husker bounce there as Turner gets a good one. So.
Well, he's been the busiest man in black and green today.
No kidding. He's like I say, he's got a real good history in this league. He's a talented kicker for the Huskers. But you just get the sense that on offense for the Huskers, they're just waiting for that somebody to make that big play. And there's going to be somebody, you hope, for the Huskers, if you're a Husker fan at home, that's just going to crack one and either break some tackles or head down the seam and just get behind the Rebels defense. You just get the sense that's what they're hoping happens, and they just have to find out who that person's going to be.
First down on the 21-yard line. Quick hitter on the near side, and there's 3 Huskers there converging on the Rebels. Jeremiah Beckwith.
So Beckwith got that one. Beckwith got that one. They got about 6. I think which is good gain on first down for the Rebels. I think if you're the Huskers, what you like to see if you're a Husker fan or coach is how the defense swarmed, how the D swarmed to that ball. There was 3-4 green jerseys swarming on Beckwith, and that's something that you're trying to install good habits in your players, and that's finishing tackles, running into the ball, all good habits that coaches like to see.
2nd down and 4. Zion Brown makes the catch.
So a flag on the play here. Zion's got enough for the first down as he keeps his. This is probably going to be an offside might be against the Rebels. It's going to be an offside or a procedure, but when it was thrown or where it was thrown, could it be a receiver was offside? As nobody's really pointing yet. They're talking to the Rebels. That tells me it's probably going to be against the Huskers. No, it is against the Rebels.
Meanwhile, Carson Rain appears to be cramping, so he's getting some attention at the moment. 10-1, Rebels leading. 9:15 to play in the 3rd quarter. Again, both these teams have a bye next week. And then on August 1st, the Rebels will be in the Nanaimo to play against the Vancouver Island Raiders. And the Huskers will play their home opener in Chilliwack against the Langley Rams.
Yeah, those two teams, actually, the Huskers and the Rams, they have a game, a yearly game that they alternate between who hosts it, with the Langley Rams called the Cascade Cup that they play yearly. So I think the Huskers have a slight edge in that, if my memory is correct, over the last couple of years. So they will play that game this year, I believe, in Langley. So that game in Valley will obviously be a rivalry type game and important in the standings, but the Cascade Cup will come later in the season.
Cancellaire got a man open on the far side. That's Zion Brown. He's got room. And he's pushed out of bounds near midfield.
Great job there by the Rebels offensive line as Anthony had lots of protection and time to throw that ball. And when he started looking back to his right-hand side, he threw the ball all the way to the wide side of the field like that for Zion Brown. As soon as he threw it, I went, oh no, thinking, but like it's such a far distance, and I think the Rebels kind of moved with Anthony to his left. So Zion Brown was able to get underneath that one, make the catch, and obviously get the first down. But another long throw there for Anthony Cancellaire.
6th catch in this ball game for Zion Brown. Cancellaire. And a diving attempt by Brown, and he's got it at the 43-yard line.
Another big play there by Zion Brown, and he's picking off right where he left off in the first half with his 5 catches and 80-plus yards. As he's getting probably 40 right on this drive alone. So Zion should be over the 100-yard mark in this game at his receiver spot, and he's a go-to target that they're going to have a lot of success with, I think, this season for the Rebels.
Well, it's almost as if offensive coordinator Rob Lorvold said, we got to get some points on the board here, so we're going to go to our money man right now, and we can get other guys touches later. First down. Cancellaire feeling pressure. Slings it, and he just threw that one away. He'll live another down. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
Really good job there by the Huskers. It's just staying disciplined, and what they did there is they obviously forced Anthony out to his right to roll, and you could see the defense was in unison, and that's hard sometimes to do, but the Huskers do a good job there with not being caught out of position. There was nothing there. Anthony had to throw that one to the far side of the field only, and the Huskers defense was in great position.
2nd down and 10, 42-yard line.
You wonder when they're going to start doubling number 4, as he's probably going to get some more attention as this game goes on.
Zion Brown in the slot. Cancellaire feeling pressure up the middle.
Look out for Zion.
He's letting it go. He's got Zion Brown wide open. Touchdown, Rebel.
There is a flag. This one's coming back, unfortunately, as it's a hold against the Huskers, or excuse me, the Rebels, but massive play. And I was watching Zion on that one. You could tell he was kind of looking like he wasn't involved in the road. He was looking like he was going to block. And as soon as Anthony rolled out this way to his left, he was able to catch a corner route. He's put his hand up in the air, and you can see that coming from a mile away. The faithful here at Starlight don't like the hold, but the Huskers dodge a break there as you have to think that they're going to be putting in some high-low coverage where you've got somebody deep against Zion Brown and somebody short, and let the short defender press him a little bit or be aggressive with him, knowing that you got help over top, because he could have a big second half here if they don't watch and make some adjustments.
So back at the 52-yard line now, instead of a touchdown, which the Rebels went ahead and celebrated, but they didn't realize that back in midfield, there's a penalty marker down. So first down and 20, still 10-1. Rebels leading the Huskers. 7 minutes to play in the third quarter. Cancellaire has Bowles open. Shoot.
It's going to be short of the first down by about 5 yards or so now. So third down here. Rebels are sending out their punt team, so they're going to play field position. So not a bad decision. You're up 2 scores here halfway through this third quarter. So they got about 13 yards of that 20 that they needed back on 2nd and 20. So now they play the field position game with their punter.
Jordan Krantz in to kick. Shoestring was the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
Shoe top. I got halfway in between. Luckily, it's live streamed, so people could see what he did. Krantz with the kick. This is going to go.
It's going to go out of bounds before, so it's a good kick, and we'll see where they mark it. They're going to mark that right around the 5-yard line. So excellent kick by the Rebels. Jordan Krantz, so that's can't do much better than that. That's what you want to do. You don't want to go in the end zone and take the point. That point really does you no good, really. So Rebels will be happy with that. And if you're the Huskers, again, you're deep in your own territory. You're trying to get that big play. They had a big run in that first half in a similar situation here that they sprung one on 2nd and long, but they need to make some couple big plays, and they need to make some big gains, some big chunk plays, as they call them.
First down on the 5-yard line. Grayson Crackle. Hands the ball inside. And that's stacked up after a short gain. It'll be 2nd and long for the Huskers.
2nd and long here, so Huskers need to be able to make a play. I suspect if they don't, they'll probably give up a safety. If they can't get any more yards here, as they're down around, they're still on their 5-yard line, 2nd and 10. So massive play here for the Huskers offenses. If they don't make any positive yards here, they may give their coaching staff no other choice than to take a knee here and give the Rebels 2 points.
Well, a franchise that went through a stretch where they won 1 game in 4 years are now looking to be a playoff team. They were 4-5-1 a year ago, 5-5 in 2024, and they're hanging around here in Langford. Crackle's in trouble. That's right at the goal line. Did he get out over the line? Now there's going to be a safety. I think he got out.
Even if he gets out, they'll probably give him forward progress. The chances are the Huskers are going to just concede the safety anyway. So whether they get it on that play or run one here and take a knee, which I suspect they will do. Very rarely do you see a team kick from their own 1-yard line or 2-yard line. So.
Well, that's another thing where American rules, Canadian rules, that's a total. This would never even be a thought.
Yeah.
I'm sure American people have seen CFL games going like, why are they running around in their end zone and giving up points?
Yeah, exactly.
Different, because field position in the Canadian game is much more different than the American game. So we'll see what they do here. Turner just going to take it out of the back of the end zone.
Again, they're making a late substitution, which isn't at the end of the day that important if he's out there, because I suspect it's going to be.
No, maybe it was too late. As soon as they snapped the ball, the official on the near side threw his flag in the air.
So if he was late, what happens usually is the official on the sidelines will what they call put the gates up, which means you can't make substitutions. So for the Huskers, you're taking a knee. Why do it? Is my question. So whether you have 11 guys on the field or 12 in that situation,
if you're just going to take a knee
anyway,
or go out the back of the end zone and take your points.
So what happens now is they'll add that yardage on the play to start this drive. So it's a legal substitution against the Huskers. So the good news is based on what Heath Edelston, the head referee, said, they can't apply it on the next play. So that's positive for the Huskers. And for the Rebels, obviously, just decline that and move on. But you think to yourself, whether you have 12 on the field in that case or 11 is not the most important function. Obviously, if you get a bad snap and everything, that could change things. But
So the Rebels now leading 12-1, 4:18 to play in the third quarter. And the wind is picking up. The flags just a few seconds ago were in the Rebels' face. Now they've kind of died down a little bit as far as the flag movement. And they'll run it right up the middle and get close to first down yardage.
looks like going back to Carter Williams on that one, I believe, is that number 8? Or is it 18?
I believe it was 18, which would be Jaron Harrinan.
So good run there, just a straightforward run, which is always good to see, and positive yards, gets enough for a first down. So good way to start the drive for the Rebels as there's an injured Husker on the field.
Well, it's Carson Rain again. He came off on the last series, cramping, and it looks like he's got the same issue.
Definitely got to have some water there to.
Well, and the officials are going to take advantage of this while Carson gets looked after. Heath Edelston and his crew. 3:42 to play in the third quarter. 12-1 for the Rebels. It was 10-1 at halftime. The Rebels did have one big play, but unfortunately it was called back by a hold. So that play is still there, Tyler McLaren.
Yeah, that play is still there.
Regardless of the flag, that play is still there.
Yeah, and you got to think. I mean, and yes, the Rebels have made a lot of their money through the air to Zion Brown with short routes, letting Zion do his things, but they will go vertical with him, no question.
Harrinan bursts through and has a first down. Move those chains, say the Rebel fans.
Yeah, good run there by Harrinan as 2 runs in a row, move the chains, first down. So you wonder now if, as the Rebels go through their backfield, have run a couple different guys through there, is the fatigue comes on as you start to watch things like guys have their hands on their hips, guys kind of walking around a little bit more trying to catch their breath. And sometimes it happens can happen with one team, can happen with both teams, but that's something to keep our eye on here as we're nearing the end of this third quarter.
51-yard line. First down for the Rebels. Maryland native Anthony Cancelier hands off, and they're using Harrinan now. He takes it down near the 35-yard line. And once again, a first down for West Shore.
Yeah, another big chunk play there by the Rebels. Positive yards, 15, 19 yards, something like that. So good gains on that one. And if you're an old lineman, and I was a linebacker when I played, but the old linemen love this time when they're just saying, just keep feeding the rock, because they're feeling it. They're getting on their blocks. I guarantee you, the big boys up front in red are liking this.
3-man front for the Huskers. First and 10 for the Rebels. Harrinan once again. Inside the 25 and down to the 24-yard line.
Should have enough for a first down again there. That looks like about 11 or 12 yards. It is enough. And what this does too is not only does it just deflate you when you're a defensive player, when somebody runs on you 5 straight running plays or so, what we've had for first downs, is it sets up where you start sucking up as a defense and all of a sudden you leave yourself vulnerable over top. So We'll see if the Rebels are just trying to lull the Huskers a little bit, or if they're just going to say, hey, we're just going to run the ball until you show us you can stop it.
And with the Rebels ahead 12-1, the clock is not in the favor of the Huskers.
So the Huskers call a timeout here as they want to chat about this as a defense, also to give your guys a bit of a break.
I think you nailed it. The coaching staff sees that we're gassed right now.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys you see with hands on their hips and just needing the breath. It's always hotter down on the field level than it is even up here where we get a breeze and it's usually a little bit cooler. But on the field, today's not a smoking hot day, but it can be a hot day.
No, it was 19 degrees at game time, which seems fairly reasonable. But also, these are young guys, a very young roster for the Huskers, and adrenaline's pumping. It's opening day. There should be internal competition. I know in talking to the Rebels coaches, we got a lot of fifth-year guys, but those guys are fighting each other for reps.
Yep.
Right. So it's always more amped up, especially on opening day with all that adrenaline pumping. And I think honestly these Husker guys were just hoping. I just don't want to get blown out in my first game because the Rebels are obviously one of the top teams, not just in this conference, but in the whole country.
And it's a great opportunity for the Huskers to show where they're at. And the other thing that's nice is, like you said, with no exhibition games, and a lot of new faces. This is a really good opportunity to evaluate what you have as a program, as a team. And these young guys, they haven't had a chance to show. The coach has seen film on them and in practice, but when you're playing somebody else in a different color uniform, it's showtime. It's showtime or show or go time.
Harrinan straight up the middle, down to the 17-yard line as we go into the final 80 seconds of the third quarter at Starlight Stadium. And now another Husker player is down.
But there's lots of times when, again, with no preseason or exhibition games, where you've got a player on your team, and both teams here could be going through that and think, wow, we got something that we didn't realize how good we had it, or you got a guy on your team or you think is going to be the greatest thing out there, and he doesn't perform. So it's these early weeks are when teams are really feeling each other out, getting to establish and say, okay, as a coach, who can I trust? Who's my game players? Who are the guys that show up between the whistles and between the white lines, and who are all show and no go type of thing? So it's players are trying to establish themselves with their coaches and say, hey, this is what I can do, and I want you to play me more and put me in better positions to make plays.
This is Caden McEachran who's getting helped off the field for the Huskers. These two teams will play again on August 15th in Chilliwack. They only played once last year. This year they'll play each other home and away.
Yeah, the joys of the unbalanced schedules when you've got 6 opponents and only 10 games, where sometimes you only get to play. And of course, with the regional games, the Rebels see a lot of their regional rivals from the North Island and the VI Raiders.
Zion Brown in the slot to the right, but it's Harrinan again with a handoff, and he'll go down at the 15-yard line.
Much better job by the Husker front on the last 2 plays there. Even though the Rebels were able to pick up about 8.5 yards, there's been some really good contact, some really good positioning there by the Rebels, by the Huskers defense.
Into the final 30 seconds of the third quarter. 12-1 for the Rebels, trying to add to their lead. Trying to put these pesky Huskers away.
Yeah, that's what they're thinking, because even if they get a touch or a field goal here, it's still a 2-possession game.
Harrinan.
He's got enough for the first down.
It's going to be close.
As this should be the final play of the first half.
Clock runs to 0. We're just waiting for the spot here. It was 3rd down and 1.
Hello. Yeah, if you just.
The Rebels do pick up a first down. And there will be one more play here.
This should be the final play.
Well, maybe not.
Oh, there we are.
He's either that or he's trying to go. He's wide open. He's at the 50.
Or they just want to take a long walk.
That is the end of the third quarter at Starlight Stadium. And the score is the Rebels 12 and the Valley Huskers 1 on BCFC TV.
Not a lot of scoring, obviously, in that third quarter either, as I think it was 10-1 at the end of that first half, if my memory is correct. So just a couple of points here. Still looking for our first offensive touchdown of this game for either team.
Well, if you're just joining us, I'm Jay Longpre along with BCFC President Tyler McLaren. Yeah, the only major that's been scored through the first 3 quarters was a defensive interception and a run back by the Rebels. We had that strange set of circumstances where on back-to-back plays, there was a pick for either side.
And big returns. That's the other thing.
Yeah, the Rebels actually had, Cam Cone had one called back. He ran it in for an interception, so he thought, but that was called again in the first half. There was 16 accepted penalties against the two teams, 9 against the Rebels and 7 against the Huskers. A little better in the third quarter. So we start the fourth quarter now. 14-yard line, first down, Carson Graham, and he'll be wrapped up
Nice tackle there by the Husker defender. We can't get the number from here because hard to see, and now they're in the shadows right where the goalposts are, so makes it hard for us to see with our old eyes up here in the old broadcast.
I was saying at halftime, maybe the president could do something about these uniforms.
Well, I understand the Huskers have new uniforms coming, and they're from what I understand, they look really sharp. So
sure
these ones look good, but the problem is just seeing them. They're just tough to see those numbers.
When you're standing right across from a player, I'm sure they're very sharp, just not from this far away.
I noticed too, they got now black helmets. That's something new for the Huskers this year. Those look pretty good. Gone away from their traditional green.
7-yard line. 11-yard line, 2nd down and 7. Pass to the end zone and incomplete.
And you see there, like unlike in the first half where we had that event where the ball was intercepted right near the goal line by the Huskers, this time the Rebels, when they ran that route, they were trying to throw it deep to, I believe it was number 6.
Yeah, Aiden Bowles was the intended target, but
you see where that one went to, where it's incomplete out the back, where Anthony threw that one, where only Bowles was going to be able to catch it. And that's the difference. You don't throw it flat. You don't underthrow it. You throw it to where only your guy's going to catch it, or it's going to be incomplete.
3rd down, 11-yard line. Cancellaire has Graham as his running back. He throws it out to Graham, and it's too high. So the Huskers will get the ball back on downs.
Huskers defense, when you're getting back and you're reviewing this, you're going to be proud of yourself of how you played when it came to making big plays, bend but don't break. They've got a couple turnovers, made some good tackles. I think they're going to feel pretty good about themselves, win or lose, whether they come back in this game or not. They've shown a lot of good things here in this game. Now they make another turnover, another stop, and frustration on the Rebels bench is they won't be happy with no touchdowns here. Well, 3+ quarters into this game.
No, the way that play was unfolding, a good pass from Cancellaire, and I think Graham has a chance to beat one man, and he's in the end zone.
Yeah, the ball definitely was highly thrown.
Yep. All right, Huskers now in possession on their own 11-yard line. Short gain on the handoff. They run out of the shadow, literally in the shadows of their own goal post.
And you get the feeling again, there's lots of time left in this game, still a 2-score game. Huskers are needing to get something, but if they can just get a guy behind cover, get a big play, make something happen on offense, it could be an exciting finish here, but they just haven't been able to get that big, besides a couple early in the first half, a couple of those big 30, 40, 50-yard plays where it ignites your bench and your offense.
2nd down and 9 for the Huskers. Trail 12-1. Crackle with a penalty marker down behind the quarterback.
That's going to be probably a hold on, I believe it's the left tackle or guard by the look of it. It is a hold, so the Rebels will probably decline this one. Huskers will have to send out their punt team, I'm assuming.
And for those of you who are Husker fans and want to help out the ball club, valleyhuskers.ca is where you can go. You can pick up a season ticket for just $75. It's for the whole season. And you get 10% off at the concession and at the always popular swag tent. valleyhuskers.ca. If you want to get a season ticket, support these young guys. They were hanging tough here. I'm sure when the schedule came out, there's probably some grimaces. Well, you got to go play the Rebels at some point, but really, opening day? But here they are, down by 11 with 12.5 minutes still to play in the 4th quarter.
Well, you always like to see it. Again, the teams are so different from year to year. But if you're the Huskers, you're looking at this going, what an opportunity for us to go show where we're at. I mean, the teams are different, the players are different. Nobody knows who's going to be good, bad, or indifferent. But you're thinking to yourself, based on history, is the Huskers will give up the 2 points for the safety. But you think to yourself, if you're the Huskers, you're going, we're playing a team on the road in a hostile environment against a team that is usually, in the last couple of years, either won the conference or been in the BC final. Let's see where we're at. And if we come in here, we battle the way we have today, which they have, there's a lot to like. There's some things to clean up, and I'm sure both teams feel that way. But when you're sitting at 14-1 here, and you've had a couple opportunities you haven't capitalized on, I think there's positivity, and you always want to win. And I'm sure the Huskers came into this game wanting and expecting to win. But if you're leaving here and you've battled hard, and you've got a young team against a team that's hosted playoff games, hosted a Canadian Bowl a couple of years ago, like that, like there's a lot of positives. Even if the score holds the way it does, there's a lot of positives to build on.
Well, going into a bye and then playing at home, so that's got to be comforting. So first down now for the Rebels, 35-yard line. 12 minutes to play in the fourth quarter, and the Rebels now lead 14-1. Anthony Cancellaire remains a quarterback. Swings it up near his side. That's too tall for Zion Brown. There was 7 catches in this game.
Tough throw there again, wide side of the field as the Huskers are on the hash marks to the far side. So I mean that throw seems like a mile for a quarterback and receiver, and Anthony was just overthrew Zion Brown by a little bit on that play, but they're going to where they want to go, to the guy that they expect to make plays, and that was just a little bit overthrown, or anything can happen when Zion gets his hands on the ball.
Second down and 10, 35-yard line. Cancellaire.
Good job by the Husker front.
He will not be able to get away this time. Snuck away a couple times in the first half. But Aiden Weiser put him down.
Yeah, he's made a couple of plays today for the Huskers. Weiser has, and that's another good one there. The Husker front, the nice part when you get a guy like Anthony who can run around and use his feet a lot is you want your pocket to come. You don't want it to be staggered. You want to be able to contain him so that he can't leak out and make some plays with his feet. And that was a really good job of the Husker front four in particular on that one, making a heck of a play and making it so Anthony can't get out to use his feet.
Jordan Krantz to punt.
Oh.
Down at the 54-yard line, and there is a penalty marker on the far side.
Flag came in late. It's probably going to be a no yards penalty. So that should be a no yards penalty against the Rebels, and it should be a 15-yard variety if it is what I think it is, because the ball was caught in the air. So
go ahead and explain for those that may be watching junior football for the first time, or even the Canadian game, no matter where you are from. What is the no yards as opposed to American that doesn't have that?
So if the ball is on the ground, it's automatically a 5-yard penalty, and if it's caught in the air, it's a 15-yard penalty. So what they're going to do here is it's a 15-yard. As you can see, the referee mark it off. The only time it's ever a 15-yard penalty when it's on the ground is if the officials feel that the defenders make no effort to vacate the 5-yard zone. So if a guy just runs, if the ball's rolling around on the ground and a defender or a cover team guy just runs right in and tackles the guy, then they'll assess a 15-yard penalty. But usually it's 5 on the ground and 15 in the air.
Crackle finds an open man inside the 35-yard line. That's Armand Sharma.
Good throw there by Crackles. He got that one out quick, threw it to the right spot. They sat down in the zone there, made a nice catch, got a first down, and this is what they need. They got the big penalty there, the 15-yard penalty on the no yards. They've got the field position. Now again, they've got 10 minutes left and change here. They've got to get into the end zone here and make this a one-possession game.
Rebels in red, leading 14-1. Crackle has his pass intercepted. Racing down the sideline is Miles McPherson. Brought down inside the 40. Fourth interception of the day for the West Shore Rebels.
Now that's a throw that Crackle will want to have back, and he knows it as he comes off the sidelines. Just trying to make something happen when he didn't have to throw that pass. Needed to get it more to the outside. Didn't do it, and he's not happy with himself as he comes to the Husker bench there. But opportunistic, good job there by the Rebel defense, and we haven't talked a whole lot about them, but like you said, 4 interceptions on the day. They've been no point or 1 point for a single point, so they have to be happy with their defensive performance in red.
Heath Edelston will take a hydration break for his crew. 10 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter at Starlight Stadium in Langford.
14-1 for the Rebels. Rebels don't have a home game until August 22nd.
Yeah, a little break. They go on the road. There's a bye week in there.
Yeah,
I guess the good news is when you're for West Shore, I'm a mainlander, so I come over and catch some games when I can. But I guess the good news for the Rebels, obviously, they get the bye next week, and then they get to stay on the island, so they don't have to leave the island until the game after that, after the VI Raider game.
Yeah, they'll play against the Raiders August 1st, and they go to Kamloops August 8th.
So there's their first road trip, which is nice. The guys like, a lot of times a road trip, and you'll talk to the coaches, they like a little road trip game to get early in the season, get the guys getting to know each other, some bonding going. So
And they'll go to Chilliwack August 15th. These two teams will meet for their second meeting in the back August 22nd against the Okanagan Sun. First down for the Rebels. Penalty marker flies as soon as the handoff goes to Jaron Harrinan.
should be a offside or procedure based on both officials. It's going to be offside against the Huskers. Both officials threw the flag on either side of the field, so offside. So that'll bring up a 1st and 5 for the Rebels here as they'll take the penalty there, giving them a 1st and 5 situation.
.38-yard line. 14-1 for the Rebels. Bowles to the far side and Zion Brown in the slot. Harrinan to the 35-yard line.
It's going to be short of the first downs. It looks like he got about 4, maybe 3 on that one. So 3, actually probably 3. So good job there by the Husker front, and they continue to battle. And I'm impressed. Looking at their D-line in there, they're athletic-looking guys, long guys on the ends and all that. They don't have a massive nose tackler guy inside, but I give all those guys there a lot of credit for how they battled here today. And they had a little bit of a lull there where they were giving up some big plays in that third quarter, but other than that, they've really battled hard in there.
That Chase Cradaville was the first man in green on that tackle. 2nd down and 2.
Oh, nice play.
And
Is it 51?
Harrinan was tripped up.
He's going to be close to the first down. The referees eyeball this. They might bring out the chains.
Denzel Boyd made the tackle.
3rd down. So 3rd down here. So nice play there by the Valley Huskers.
3rd down and 1. 8 minutes to play in the 4th quarter. Rebels leading 14-1.
Tough play here on 3rd and short, but opportunity here for the Huskers to do back-to-back short yard stops here, but Rebels will obviously want to move the chains here, keep this drive going.
Harrinan, first down yardage and more. Down to the 26-yard line.
Good push up front there as the Rebels do get a good job on the right-hand side of their offensive line as they move the line of scrimmage back, and that was an easy first down as the Rebel back wasn't touched until a couple yards downfield. So good job there by the Rebel big boys up front.
Yeah, Jonas Weiss, Feldhaus giving the crease for Harrinan. Pick up the first down. 31-yard line. Down to 7 minutes to play in the 4th quarter. Harrinan. He'll sleep well tonight. He's been very busy in the second half.
Definitely the second half. We haven't seen much, if any, of Carter Williams, I don't think.
No, I'm not sure whether he, can't tell down there whether he took got banged up, because he was the starting guy, and then they went to Carson Graham somewhat, but lately it's been Harrinan.
And he's looked good. He hits the hole really hard, runs really hard, gets positive yards. So I've noticed a lot of times too, most of his runs he's falling forward, and coaches like to see that too, where once you get tackled, it's nice when you're falling forward, not being driven backwards. So that's another nice thing I've seen from Harrinan.
Harrinan again.
Great run.
Harrinan. First and goal, Rebels.
Great running there by Harrinan as he looked to have been stopped in the backfield for a loss and was able to scat away from the Husker defender there and get a big chunk play there. That's going to be enough for a first down. It should be first and goal, I think, once they set the chains on the far side of the field. But really nice run by Harrinan. As again, you wonder if fatigue starts to set in for the Huskers on their defense because they've been on the field a lot today.
Carson Williams did leave earlier. We're getting word, leg injury. So then it was Graham, and now it is Harrinan. An internal competition that head coach Connor Bryan talked about earlier in the week. Now it's Graham up the middle. Carson Graham.
Nice
Touchdown, Rebels.
Nice run there by Graham as he's dancing in the end zone, and that makes the hometown fans happy here at Starlight as they get their first offensive touchdown of the season. So congratulations to them on that. That will expand this lead now. The post is covered, but I believe it's
20.
It's 20-1 with the extra point coming. So Rebels will be happy where they get on the scoreboard with the offenses. They didn't want to go this whole game without getting an offensive touchdown. Great running there by Graham and Harrinan, and with all his runs setting that up. But good finish for the Rebel offense.
Point after from Aiden Bowles. Up and good. 5:20 to play. Fourth quarter. Scoreboard now reads Rebels 21, Valley Huskers 1.
And that makes it now a three-possession game. Obviously, tough road ahead for the Huskers here. But again, I think if you're looking at this 5 minutes here, you're wanting to make sure you're building. And that's everything should be about building, staying positive, making plays, working on some things. And these are valuable reps, regardless of whether the Huskers come back and win this game or score a touchdown or two or whatever. But you just want to see the reps. You want to get the reps. You want to see what you got, because I guarantee the coaching staff is still evaluating a lot of players, and they're trying to say, okay, who are going to be our guys moving forward? Who are going to be our key contributors? And that's something I'm sure the Huskers are watching for even this last 5 minutes and 20 seconds.
Aiden Bowles will kick it away. Kept it in the field of play. Ooh. Out across the 20-yard line for the Huskers.
A lot of east-west there, and I'm sure they'll probably say, find a lane, cut, get upfield. Find a lane, cut, and get upfield. So not the greatest field position for the Huskers to start this drive off, as I'm sure they want to start a little further, either up in their own end or even into Rebel territory with a good return.
Oh, when that one hit the deck, I thought it was going to go out of bounds.
Well, I thought so too, and then it kind of curved back in there.
Took a nice little left turn. Aiden Bowles will tell you, I've been practicing that. 21-yard line for the Huskers, first down and 10. They're down to 5 minutes to play now, trailing by 20.
Good cut back there. Short gain on that one, maybe a couple, as we get an update from Nanaimo after the third quarter, as they're a little behind us in this game, but the Okanagan Sun leading the Vancouver Island Raiders after three quarters, 28-17. So Sun have a successful third quarter, outscoring the Raiders, but still a good game up in Nanaimo at that NDSS field.
That game was tied at halftime, 14-14. So good competitive first week of the season. That must make the president happy.
Yeah, you like to see the competitive games, close games. I thought that would be a close game, and it has delivered. Obviously, the Raiders, both teams, the Sun, the defending champions, and the Raiders obviously looking to take another step forward. They made the playoffs last year, and now they want to continue to grow and with their team, and they've added a lot of good pieces this year. So I think the Raiders are going to be a fun team to watch this year. Good team in our league, and they obviously, for Rebel fans here, they're going to have some good games. It'll be probably fun for Rebel fans and Raider fans to watch, whether they're in the South or North Island. It's always good, and there's been times over the years, and I've been around as a coach and a player, but sometimes the Raiders were really strong, the Rebels were weak, or vice versa. And when you get those couple years or that run where they're both good football teams, it makes for a lot of exciting football for an Island football fan.
Good kick by Turner. Having trouble for it is Riddington.
There's a flag on the field, but that's how you flip a field, as coaches say. We'll see what the infraction is as they sort this out. But if you're whether you're in the North Island or South Island, when you see those Raider Rebel games, I think you fans are in for a treat this year.
(21-1) is the score in this game with 4 minutes to play in the fourth quarter. Still have holding is the call. Heath Edelston talking to the audience here at Starlight Stadium.
So that's going to make the field position even go worse for the West Shore Rebels, as they will be backing up. So the good job by the Huskers there is they've definitely flipped the field, as the saying goes, in this one. And now the Rebels will be fielding deep in their territory with just over 4 minutes left here in this fourth quarter. And that's something too. I mean, and been around a while, like those types of plays where it's off, like there's just plays that guys don't make week 6, week 7, where you don't have balls going off guys' hands backwards for 20 more, 30 more yards. So, and because the players in this league on both these teams and all our teams are really good football players, otherwise they wouldn't be here. So those are the things you see in week 1 as players are banging off some of the rust and facing an opponent for the first time. But I suspect you'll see those get less and less as the season goes on.
First down, Rebels, 18-yard line. Throw over the middle. Speaking of stuff you probably won't see very often, Zion Brown.
Right on cue. And you know what? And like Zion, I've seen Zion play in our league, and he's one of our best, if not our best, offensive player coming into this game. And he catches that 99 out of 100 times.
I think he's guilty of peeking.
He was peeking. I was just about to say the same thing, Jay. Is
there a safety there? Nope, I'm gone. Oh, I forgot something.
He's thinking, all I got to do is catch this and turn, and I am gone for 7. And
that Husker guy had no chance of catching him.
Zion's one of the faster players. He's really quick, especially when he gets the ball. Like, he's just got breakaway speed with it. But that's when he catches 99 times out of 100.
I feel bad for the quarterback because Cancellaire, quite honestly, has been a little off with his accuracy. So there he hits his best guy in stride, and he still gets an incomplete pass. Now he's scrambling.
When you hit him right on the 4.
Yes.
That's a great run here.
Yeah, good catch by Brady Jenkins, and he still takes 4 green jerseys to shove him out of bounds.
Battling for every yard there was Jenkins, and that's that play before Zion. Like I say, he'll come back to the huddle knowing Zion and say that one's on me, Q.
Yep. But that play there by Jenkins, I think that goes back to what head coach Connor Bryan was talking about during the week about the internal competition. We have good players. Well, then we're competing against our opposition, but we're also competing against ourselves.
For sure.
For reps and more playing time.
Yeah. And you know what? Like the Rebels receivers, the other receivers, the young guys, they'll see Zion drop that, and they'll say, you know what, he'll come back to the huddle and say, throw it up again, and they'll see how he reacts to it as an older player in our league now.
First down for the Rebels. Carson Graham struggles for about 3 as we're getting down now.
3-minute warning here at Starlight.
2:37.
So good job there by the Husker defense there, swarmed again. These are the types of things as a coaching staff, when you're going home tonight, tomorrow, watching film and seeing these things, and the teams film a lot of their own stuff, and then we have our league film. You're watching this and you're saying, who's battling here? But in a 21-1 game, who's battling? Who's out there throwing? Who's out there making plays? And who's going to play till the final whistle goes? And I think there's going to be some happiness in that regard if you're a Husker coach. And you're seeing there's some kids that have some pride that what they're doing out there.
Well, their defense to this point has only been scored on once.
Absolutely.
Cancellaire. Nearly intercepted at the 40-yard line. Zion Brown, the intended receiver.
Yeah, that one, there was almost an interception, and obviously no pass interference there. Zion kind of lost his footing on that one. and was trying to come back, and then when he made his cut and then slipped, and that enabled the Husker defender to almost get an interception. But again, positive for the Huskers is they'll be able to get their defense off the field, get their offense back on. So good job there. As they're definitely they're both tired teams out there, but definitely the Huskers defense has had their time, got their money's worth on the field today.
Jordan Krantz to punt.
Oh!
We waited a long time to get that one up, and now Krantz is down.
Krantz is down.
Ball deflects into the Rebel bench. Don't see a flag down.
Rebels are not happy because they think there should be a penalty on that. The Huskers are probably going to say he got ball first, which I tend to think that's a good no call by the officials.
Well,
I know the Rebels won't agree with that as they saw their quarterback get hit. But I think it was from follow through with the ball after contact was made.
Krantz is back up and makes his way to the sideline. So we're down now to 2 minutes and 6 seconds to play in the fourth quarter. The Rebels leading the Huskers 21-1. Grayson Crackle has been the quarterback all day.
Good decision there. Great run there by Crackle. Doesn't see anything. There was a bit of a parting of the Red Sea, so to speak, with the Rebels' red jerseys, but there was a spot there to run. He took advantage of it, got himself and his team the first down. So good job there by Crackle. Has seen that and executed it.
Still fighting with these jerseys, but that does not look like number 10 that ran that ball.
Oh, they got there another quarterback in there?
Well, again, number 18 is, backup quarterback Dalen Hall.
Okay, sorry, quarterback change.
Again, with the 8 and the 0 from up here. I didn't want to jump on it too quick. Now we're doing a little more trickery from the Huskers as they have a short yardage situation, so they'll just bullet forward down near the 45-yard line.
And you know what? Again, positive plays, making something happen, finishing. And that's something I'm sure, all of our coaches will tell their team 60 minutes, regardless if you're up by 40, down by 40, up by 10, down by 10, whatever. You want your teams to compete, you want your teams to play 60 minutes, and there's nothing harder for a coach than even if you're on the wrong side of a score, that when your team doesn't compete. That's a challenge, and I think, the Huskers are obviously at the wrong end of this score for them today, but I think they're going to like their compete level.
That was Braden McDonald who took that snap and got his shoulder banged up in the process, but he's gone back into the huddle, and the Huskers have called their final timeout with 1:24 remaining in the fourth quarter. Rebels 21 and the Huskers 1. 45-yard line. First down for the Valley Huskers. They were founded in 1999.
Yeah, you know what they're doing is they're saying we want to get one here before this last 124.
They want to leave with something positive. 21-8 sounds a lot better than 21-1. That's not going to help. No, it lands incomplete at the 25-yard line.
That one sailed, and somebody zigged and somebody zagged, and the only one that had a chance to catch that was Cameron Cohn from the West Shore Rebels. So that one was a bit of a miscue, and you're going to get that as you start to cycle through backup receivers, backup quarterbacks. The timing just isn't there with a lot of these guys. They don't get the first team reps, but I think the Huskers, they would love to just get in the end zone and then build off of that. Like you said, 21-8 sounds a lot better than 21-1.
Well, big improvement for both these teams in a short sample size. There was 6 interceptions between the two sides in the first half. There's only been 1 in the second half.
If I had to guess, I would say both coaching staffs probably made that abundantly clear at the halftime break.
And the number of penalties as the referees kind of put the hankies in the back pocket a little bit. This one might be a pick, and yes, it is. I jinxed him. Broadcaster jinx. Isaiah Boutin with the interception.
Just when we said there hasn't been
I know.
It's almost like we were jinxing it. But a another big play by the Rebel defense, and you know what? They, as much as the Huskers want to get in there, you can bet the Rebel defense is probably saying we've held a team to 1 point, and in the Canadian game, that is a pretty good stat to have. So as much as the Huskers want to get in there on what might have been their last drive of the day, the Rebels were probably saying we're not going to let this happen. We like the fact that there's only a single point on the board.
Well, again, Connor Bryan was very clear on what he thought the best part of a very good team is, and that was his secondary. So, and they have come as advertised here this afternoon.
And the one guy, and we're going to see some probably running plays here by the Rebels, but the one guy who we haven't named very much today is Gio Lianuzzi. And Gio is one of the better defenders in the game. He plays safety, so sometimes he's not as involved as a safety like the corners and the halves are. But there's a name that we haven't had to really mention very much.
No, haven't mentioned him at all today. Cameron Cohn has been the ball around the ball the most, but that's where they thought the Huskers thought they could, thought they could pick on him, and he's been no problem.
And I suspect, as the year goes on, a guy like Gio, who's been an all-star in our league, and makes plays and is a big part of what the Rebels are doing, you're going to hear from him in due time. I have no doubt about that. He's one of the best defensive players on the Rebel team, but I don't know if we've called his name as he's been playing center field today.
No.
So there's another player who hasn't necessarily got in on the stat side of things and the big plays, but that's coming with Gio Lianuzzi. Good shot
Cancellaire puts that one right on the money, down near the 30-yard line. That's Brady Jenkins.
That was a well thrown pass. Surprised to see.
Rebels have called a timeout.
Yeah, they called a timeout here. A little surprised to see Anthony Cancellaire still in there with a lead here, what it is, but maybe they're looking at it saying, you know what, he's new to this league, new to the Canadian game. Well, got to get him as many reps as possible. Zion Brown still in this game. So.
It's almost like they're using this by taking a timeout. It's not about winning the game; they're going to win the game. It's more about how do we, run our 2-minute offense, if you will, or the last 30-second offense. Because we don't play next week.
And the other thing, they're the Rebels calling a timeout. Clearly they're going to try and get some points here, but what they're also saying is these teams play against each other, and when it comes to tiebreakers and everything else, you never know. These things may come into play. They've only scored one offensive touchdown today or two now, but they've got to be careful of they want to make sure they win the tiebreakers and the points. So they're still running their offense.
He'll throw it to the end zone. Zion Brown is there, and he's got a touchdown, Rebels.
Good job there by Zion Brown, and you knew he wanted to get in the end zone and get his first major of the season, and he gets it here with just 20 seconds left in that game, and he's been close a couple times, had one called back, but this one is good for number 4, Zion Brown, and he puts a punctuation mark on this game for the Rebels.
Yeah, I think that's Rob Lervold and Connor Bryan saying we don't play next week. We need to look at some film that's positive. And so let's get number 4 on the board, and they did that. Some might say running up the score. Others would say, nope, you're just playing the whole 60 minutes. 20 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter. Bowles for the point after. Oh, low snap. That's Zion. Flips it into the end zone, man wide open. 2 men there, and they just knocked it away from one another.
That's the one they might want to have back, but Zion's going to say, hey, if that was me throwing, if I could have caught that one, but unfortunately for the Rebels, they aren't able to come down with that one, so they get their 6, but don't convert on the extra point after the low snap.
No, it started right from the snap, and then it was backyard football, and bad news here, can't tell who that is behind the goalpost, but there's a Husker player who's down. You didn't need that with 19 seconds left in the fourth quarter. So the score will remain 27-1 for the Rebels.
like to be able to identify the injured player, but from this vantage point, there's the goalpost in the way, and training staff
looks
also.
like he's down on his back too.
Well, it's strange because 2 Rebel players went for that pass from
Yeah,
Zion Brown, and they collided with one another, so I didn't see where he got in the middle of that.
I didn't see anything. I saw the same thing you did, Jay, and I thought, okay, the two, if anyone's going to get hurt, the only contact was between.
Because Miles
the two
McPherson
Red
looked like he was wide open, like he was going to catch a punt, and then all of a sudden his teammate came in and knocked the ball away from him. And good news is the Husker player is up, but not putting much weight on his right leg.
So we have an update as we get set for this last 20 seconds here, 19 seconds. Is up in Kamloops. The Langley Rams are leading the Kamloops Broncos by a score of 8-0 with about 5 minutes left in the first quarter. That's our latest update. So the Rams obviously looking to rebound off a really suspect season for them last year, where they missed the playoffs for the first time in, I think it was 40 years or something like that. So they're looking to get off on the right foot there up in Kamloops, and obviously two new head coaches in that game. So with Jay Daniels taking over the Kamloops Broncos and Kai Todd-Hunter taking over the Langley Rams for this year. So somebody's going to get their first win of the year, and plus it's a tie, which we do have in our league, so you never know.
Tyson George Kelly was the injured player. Now he's been able to kind of walk off under his own steam. So that's good news for the Huskers as the ball's put into the air by Bowles. Taken on a bounce, and not going very far as the Husker return man. So the special teams, the Rebels, are playing right to the very end.
Yeah, that's one, as much as we've talked about the fight and the compete, that one is one where the Huskers won't be happy with that, as there was no blocking up front there for the returner to make anything happen. So obviously the Huskers will be frustrated with that last score and everything else, but all in all, a good performance. They won't like the effort level on that one, I'm sure, when they review the film, but they'll take over here with just 18 seconds left on the clock, a couple plays to go.
"20-yard line for the Huskers, first down. They may just take a knee here.
That is what I would do.
They don't risk any more injury.
You saw if you were watching the CFL games last night, they now have changed the rules in the CFL. We haven't yet, but to where it's like how it is in the NFL, where if a team can't stop a clock or they're not going to stop a clock, the game ends and they walk off the field and don't have to do this last 20 seconds of snaps and everything else. So saw that last night in the BC Lion game and thought, that's the first time I've seen that in the CFL.
There you go. Yeah, they're just going to take a knee, and that'll do it. So opening day at Starlight Stadium is a happy one for the West Shore Rebels, who were 7-3 a year ago and lost in the Cullen Cup to Okanagan, and they are 1-0 to start their 2026 season as they defeat the Valley Huskers 27-1. It was 10-1 at the half, and I don't know if anybody really do much reviewing of the film of the first half on this game. There was 6 interceptions, 16 penalties, but things tightened up a little bit in the second half, and the Rebels have an opening day victory over the Valley Huskers. Now both teams have a bye. Huskers will prepare to play their home opener on August 1st, and the Rebels will go to Nanaimo and play against the Vancouver Island Raiders on August 1st.
Yeah, it was a good game for the Rebels as we wrap up here at Starlight. They'll be happy. They got the win. They wanted that in their home opener here in front of a good crowd here at Starlight. And for the Huskers, so they'll take that into the bye and get some people back, healed some bumps and bruises. And you know what, again, for the Huskers, a tall order coming in here with such a young team and not knowing probably what you have with such a young roster and experience, and a lot of new faces. But I think when they go back and review this, sure, a couple late touchdown here or there they may not be happy with, but I think what they're going to build on as they head into that game against the Langley Rams is their compete level and their execution. And from what I see, and I've been around a long time, is I see a team that's only going to get better, and they'll compete in a lot of games this year down the road. So I see a lot of optimism if you're a Husker fan, and obviously the Rebels have high expectations for their season. So these two teams will move on and obviously play each other again on the 22nd of August.
That was the voice of BCFC President Tyler McLaren taking off his color analyst hat and going and putting his president's hat on. Happy to see that all the games so far on opening day were competitive, and that makes the whole league. Obviously, you're only as strong as your weakest link. So that's a good start for everybody involved here. I'd like to thank our director Tyler, color analyst Tyler. I'm Jay Longpre. It's been a pleasure being here at Starlight Stadium today. Final score on opening day, West Shore Rebels 27, Valley Huskers 1 on BCFC TV.
Okay, team, let's have a great show.